I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. Hell yeah, brothers. Oh, what you gonna do when BFT runs wild on you, brother? All right. I know this costume's gonna trigger a lot of people out there. I don't care. Don't care. All right, here we go. We'll let everybody get rolling on in here on this fabulous Friday Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween to all my brothers and sisters out there. We got a good one. We started a little bit early in case all your kids are got to take them trick-or-treating and whatnot tonight. Obviously, Natomania. Yeah, there you go. Hell yeah, brother. So we're going to start a little early, a couple hours early so y'all can get your kids out, trick-or-treating, get to your parties, everything like that. All right, we got a good one. We got a lot to talk about today, all right? Sure you guys have seen more bizarreness with the FBI as Kash Patel was caught stopping, the director of national intelligence and the director of the National Counterterrorism Center from investigating foreign ties to the Charlie Kirk assassination. That seems pretty bizarre. Yeah, we do got football tonight, brother. Kids playing at 7, so that's also why we're out of here early. It's a little going to be a away game tonight. Yeah, brothers. All right, let's do it. We're going to start. We're going to start with a poll before we get ready and jump into this episode. Also, we're going to talk about why no one trusts the FBI at all anymore, especially Kash Patel, of course. We're going to take a look at some very bizarre stuff that Turning Point USA has been caught lying about. Yeah, it's not good. I'm just confused at why everybody involved from the FBI to Turning Point just continuously gets more and more and more suspicious, brothers. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to see TPUSA's response to the controversy, which made things even worse as their entire comment section is just dragging them now. It seems like people are turning on them at a rapid pace. We're going to take a look at some weird stuff Candace Owens brought up about Egyptian military also being in Provo, Utah, right before the assassination. I'm sure that's a coincidence as well. There's a lot of coincidences out there, brothers. A lot of coincidences in this Charlie Kirk case. Too many coincidences. We're going to get into talk about towards the end Erica Kirk and J.D. Vance's extremely bizarre interaction that just happened. There's a lot of rumors going around about that. We'll talk about those. Then we're going to look at Range Day Bro dropped a brand new video with a ballistics test where he actually tested the shot from up and behind theory. Very, very interesting video. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Excuse me, if we got time. We are going to do some merch giveaways. Celebrate Halloween at the end, all right? So, all right, how we doing out there? Everybody looks like everybody's doing good. All right, so yes, let's jump right into the episode. It's clickbait. We haven't even started the episode, brother. You gotta relax, dude. Like 4 minutes in. 4 minutes and 26 seconds in, dude. We're doing an intro. Chill out. We're gonna get to it. All right. So yes, here we go. Let's start talking about this. What happened? Yeah, let me pull this up here. The bizarreness going on with Kash Patel, Joe Kent, Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, it's not great, guys. But let's take a look. All right, so add that to stage. Here we go. All right. So, yes, what happened? So, the FBI director, Kash Patel, of course, thought that Joe Kent, again, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, So, the guy who's responsible for chasing down terrorism leads and foreign agents in our country, that guy, Joe Kent, who we'll talk about here in a minute. He thought Joe was overstepping by looking into foreign ties of Charlie's suspected killer. Now, why would Joe and Tulsi be looking into this to begin with? They must have some type of inclination to think that there might be something going on with this. So it says, yes, FBI Director Kash Patel reportedly clashed. Sounds like there was actually some real bad blood about this with top intelligence office official Joe Kent over looking into the potential foreign ties of the suspected killer of Charlie Kirk. Kent, the director of National Counterterrorism Center, was examining FBI files in recent weeks to investigate whether Tyler Robinson, who is charged in the Kirk killing, had support from a foreign power or entity. That seems like a pretty normal thing to maybe investigate in a high-profile assassination like this. One would assume, but not according to Kash Patel, who felt like, you're overstepping, Tulsi and Joe. You should probably sit this one out because Kash Patel's on the case, brothers. So, yeah, if the FBI and Kash Patel couldn't look suspicious enough, they go out and do the one thing that makes them look 1,000 times more suspicious. Now, let's talk about who he's clashing with. Joe Kent. Y'all familiar with Joe Kent? I'm familiar with Joe Kent. You know why I'm familiar with Joe Kent? Joe Kent is a fellow Green Beret. Joe Kent's not only a fellow Green Beret, but he's a fellow first group Green Beret. We were in the same unit. So I'll tell you this. Joe Kent is highly respected in the Special Forces Regiment and in first group. And Kash Patel is not. So if I'm going to trust someone in this situation, me personally, am I going to trust the dude who obviously is compromised with a Mossad alleged girlfriend running the FBI who's covering up the Epstein files? Or am I going to trust a fellow Green Beret from my unit? Well, that's a pretty easy choice for us, brothers. We're going to take the side of Joe Kent 100 out of 100 times when it comes to this. Also, so what Kash Patel said, guys, the reason why he felt like this is the inappropriate thing for Tulsi and Joe to be doing is because it might damage the prosecution's case. Let's think about that. Why would Kash Patel say it might damage the prosecution's case? That seems a little bizarre. Why would it damage the prosecution's case if they were looking into foreign agents and foreign actors in this? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because if they found out that there was other people involved, yeah, that might be a big fucking problem for the FBI narrative, wouldn't it? That might collapse the entire FBI narrative. So, if you're Kash Patel and you're the FBI, God forbid you find the truth. They don't give a fuck about the truth. What they want is for Tyler Robinson to be quickly processed, found guilty, and executed so they can wash their hands of this whole thing. Right? They don't want Joe Kent looking into this. They don't want Tulsi Gabbard looking into this. Right? Like, whoa. We don't want to find out the truth. What if Israel is involved? God forbid. We don't want to find that out. Ooh, shit. That's ooh. If I'm Kash Patel, my girlfriend's not going to be real happy about that. Which, by the way, if you didn't see, he's in a little bit of hot water now because he was taking private jets to take his, how old is she, chat? How old is Kash Patel's Israeli girlfriend? She's like fucking 22. Let's pull those two up. Kash Patel and girlfriend. Let's take a look at these two. Here we go. Okay, why not? Let's pull this up, right? Okay. All right, everybody. So here's Kash Patel and his girlfriend, Israeli girlfriend. She's 26. So I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, that she is with Kash Patel because she loves him. Yeah, this 26-year-old is 100% with Kash Patel, by the way, for love, not because she's compromising him or anything like that. That would never happen. I don't believe that for a second, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, why would you think that? That's not something Israel would ever do, right? Yeah, I mean, we'll take a look here real quick at this as well. Oh, I can't pull that up. I was gonna pull up a good picture of Kash with his cocaine eyes, his crossed cocaine eyes, and yeah, we talk about this girl is 100% with Kash Patel, not because he's the director of the FBI and she's Israeli, but because and we of course love Israel. We love her, right? Like 100%, we're on her team for sure. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing to see here. I'm sure that has nothing to do with why Kash Patel is freaking out and trying to shut down Joe Kent and Tulsi Gabbard for looking for the truth, maybe. I don't know. Because, again, you got to ask yourselves, guys, why would Joe Kent have engaged in this to begin with? Well, I don't know. Have you heard any other soft dude that's like, yep, nothing to see here. I believe this narrative 100%. Nope. So a fellow Green Beret who's in a position to maybe look into this might have thought, hey, this is pretty bizarre. And, my job is to look into domestic terrorism, which, if you guys think about it, a high-profile assassination on an American citizen by a foreign government or a foreign agent would be terrorism, right? So it seems like to me, guys, there would be some legitimate reason for that to happen. But no, Kash Patel says no. We got this, brother. And of course, let's talk about the FBI, right? The FBI would never, ever lie. And guys, obviously a lot of sarcasm here. But the big part of the entire controversy and all the conspiracies is not just because of, we got some stuff coming off here. Not just because because of Charlie Kirk's situation by itself, it's because the FBI has lied to the American people over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so they already aren't trusted. And then he's also doing shit like this, which, by the way, did you guys see? Yeah, we talked about that. He took taking his private girlfriend, or taking a private jet to ferry his girlfriend around while the government's shut down. No big deal. Sick, dude. But let's take a look at some things. Did we forget about this? Let's look at the FBI's track record over the last couple of years, in case we forgot. Oh, that's right. This is why the FBI is not trusted by any of the American people. Maybe like 8% of the American people. Keep in mind, they're still covering up the Epstein tapes and the Epstein files and the Epstein client list and everything, which they have. They may have gotten rid of at this point. But the FBI has Seth Rich's laptop. The FBI has Huma Abedin's laptop. The FBI had or has Hunter Biden's laptop. Do you remember that one that the FBI said nothing to see here? There's nothing on that laptop. Turned out that was, in fact, a lie. They hid all those from the public. Not only that, what else did the FBI sort of bolo recently? I don't know. They had, 200 plus plainclothes agents at January 6th that they lied about. The former director of the FBI has been indicted for lying to the American people, Comey. So, and that's just in the last like 4 or 5 years. And currently, right? Like the Epstein files, guys, let's take a little trip down memory lane. We talk about our good friend Kash Patel and why we trust Joe Kent over Cash Money, Layaway Patel. Let's see. You guys seen this clip? I'm sure you've seen this clip because I played it a bunch of times because it fucking pisses me off so much. But here we go.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
for the information that we have.
Okay, so you guys, I'm sure you remember that. Yeah, so there you go. Jeffrey Epstein trafficked no women to no one, according to FBI Director Kash Patel as of a couple weeks ago. Now, what's the problem with that? Well, the big problem with that is we already know who all victims are because there was a civil suit. Remember? We already know that he trafficked victims. That was already proven. I mean, I believe it was, what was it, Citibank? Was it Goldman Sachs? Let me look that up. Who had to pay out the Epstein victims? I think it was like $500 million. Somebody in chat will remember that one. Let's see. We'll get some compensation here. $121 million had to be paid out to the victims and survivors that were trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein in a civil trial. Like, that was already proven. They already paid the money out. The victims were already compensated. JP Morgan had to pay $290 million to the victims in June of 2023. JP Morgan also had to pay $75 million settlement to the U.S. Virgin Islands for its role in enabling Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking. Okay. Let's see. Deutsche Bank settled for $75 million tied to Epstein's victims. So yeah, guys, you remember that 2 years ago? That like all the victims were already compensated and like they already, like, all these institutions had to pay out all this money. So what, Kash, can you explain that to us? Can you explain that to us, Kash, about how Jeffrey Epstein's never trafficked anyone to anyone? Because why did JP Morgan pay $300 million to the victims? Kash, did we just forget about that? We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. The whole civil trial and case and all that. That we're just going to pretend that didn't happen. Are we retarded, chat? Like, are Americans, are we so stupid that we don't remember something that happened a year and a half ago? That like the FBI director, Kash Patel, can get in front of fucking Congress and say that? What is going on? So yes, obviously, when that same dude you just saw comes out and tries to shut down Joe Kent and Tulsi Gabbard from investigating this, that is highly fucking suspect. And in fact, it's beyond highly suspect. It's, I don't know, I'm not going to call it illegal, but it's so obvious. Oh, there's JD. It's so what JD just say? How many times did they send you the island? Not enough yet. It's so obvious. Like, you want the Americans to stop having conspiracies about Charlie Kirk. Maybe, like, don't do shit like this, dog. And now, of course, the gag order the judge put out, potentially cameras not being involved in the case, like we're not going to see in the courtroom or anything. And with the gag order, plus no cameras in the courtroom, the American public will see nothing. They'll just get the verdict. While the FBI stops other intelligence agencies from investigating this. What the fuck are we doing, guys? Like, are we serious? Like, is America a serious place anymore? Like, the American people are so fucking dumb that you can just do the shit like this. If you're Kash Patel now, I guess, and the FBI, fuck it. But the thing is, this isn't even the only thing Kash is doing. He's also bitching about this with Tulsi Gabbard. So check this out. This is just a day, 2 days ago. FBI is opposing push for Tulsi Gabbard to take the lead on counterintelligence. Kash Patel doesn't want Tulsi Gabbard, who's, again, the director of national intelligence, to take the lead on counterintelligence. This fucking podcaster thinks that he should be in charge of counterintelligence instead of Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Kent. Roger that, bro. I mean, what the fuck is going on? And you guys notice, you haven't heard anything from Tulsi. Tulsi's been buried by the Trump administration. She's basically been handcuffed and told to shut the fuck up. You guys know that, right? You guys are aware of that? Yeah, obviously. So that's unfortunate to see that happen to Tulsi and Joe. They're just basically getting told, shut the fuck up. Don't do your jobs. We'll have Kash Patel do your job. So, yeah, again, if you trust the FBI guys, I mean, let's do it. Of course, on this channel, we do polls. Let's do a poll as we jump into this thing. Start the poll here. Do you trust the FBI? Well, let's do true trust. Do you trust Kash Patel? Yes or no, guys? Let's see what the American people think based off of his performance and the thing he's doing. Do you trust Kash Patel? Hit him in the chats. I mean, you might. I don't know why you would. And it's not just us. It's like everybody you see. Other than, you know, there's some very specific influencers. Let's take a look at this, guys. And this actually is getting more bizarre to me. So you got who you got? You got well, we'll talk about it. We'll look at this clip first because God, this is just grossing me out watching these people who I used to actually like and have respect for because I thought that they had journalism, like actual integrity as journalists, and they were actually conservative and they cared about things like this. But they don't. And I'll show you what I mean here. So here's just one of the MAGA influencers and content creators that we all know. Let's check this out.
Is there something nefarious going on?
Are you talking about Charlie's murder?
She's talking about Charlie's book club. What do you think she's talking about?
I love
Are
Jimmy
you talking
Dore.
about Charlie's murder?
I love
What?
Jimmy
I'm talking
Dore.
about Macron's wife's dick.
Yeah, well, what do you think we're talking about? Right away, jumping off point, she's being dishonest.
So I don't listen to Candace's show.
And why would you? Why would you? Why would you listen to one of the only shows in the world that's actually meticulously debunking the obvious BS narrative coming from the FBI and the media and the establishment? Why would you watch the one show? You're in the news business. You wouldn't want to know about that. Someone more prominent than you.
But I am 100% convinced that Charlie was killed by Tyler Robinson, a crazed leftist who murdered him because he didn't like Charlie's messaging on the trans issue.
Does anyone believe that? I think we found the last person in the world. Kash Patel doesn't believe that. No one believes that. You really believe that? It was a furry.
That is my firm belief after having talked to the people at Turning Point, the FBI, the security team that was on the ground.
Okay, stop. You hear what she said? She 100% believes that it was Tyler Robinson by himself, lone trans furry, because the FBI and Turning Point told her so. Huh. The FBI and Turning Point told her so. Okay, Megan. I thought you were friends with Charlie Kirk, Megan. Weren't you? Or is that what? And she says, I'm 100% confident. Guys, we did a live with Brent, my buddy Brent Tucker last night, who he actually thinks that the FBI narrative is probably true. And he's got a wazoo way of making it work with the 30-06. And he will literally tell you, that's just my guess. Honestly, it's so fucking bizarre and there's so much weird shit. And who knows? That's like somebody who is maybe trying to believe it a little bit. He would probably say like I don't know, I would guess probably less than 50%. So this woman who knows nothing about anything when it comes to, I don't know, ballistics or anything involved is 100% confident. Good for you, Megyn Kelly. You have lost all credibility with me. That's just it disgusts me. Like I'm 100% confident that Charlie. No, you're fucking not. Nobody is. Nobody is. There's not enough evidence to be 100% confident in this yet. And it's not just her. You got fucking Benny Johnson, right? You got Talmud Tatum. You got all the MAGA pro-Israel fucking grifters that are all lockstep. Yep. We don't give a shit about finding the truth about our friend Charlie. Oh, it drives me fucking crazy, guys. Like these are some, I thought these were the, when Biden was in charge, these were the people that were bringing down every conspiracy that could ever happen, right? And now, it's just, I'm sure it drives you guys crazy too. Let me check the poll here to see what you guys thought. Oh, Kash is hanging in there with a wavering between 3 and 4% trust rating. Wow. 4%, Kash. Hope you see this one, buddy. 4% of the almost 4,000 people in this chat believes or trusts you, Kash Patel. 3%. That's not great. Those aren't great numbers, brother. Hell yeah, brother. And I just saw, yes, I'm actually shocked it's that high. I was expecting 1% or below. But I mean, there are some people that are hanging in there. All right. Guys, this recent one, you guys know I really fucking hate Kash Patel more than anybody, and more than anybody in the entire administration. It's not even close. I'm obviously very, very outspoken about that, and you should too. But this recent one with him shutting down Joe Kent from looking into this, fuck you, dude. How about that? Like, give me a fucking break, dude. And it's the most suspicious shit I've ever seen in my life. I want to give these people some sort of grace. Like, you know what I mean? But really? And like, it's open. It's open to the public now. Like, oh, yep, nope. We're shutting down fucking the people who are in charge of investigating terrorism in our country. God forbid they look into this. And that's the FBI. We're going to get into a turning point here in a minute that's getting even more and more and more sketchy. And guys, you've seen me. I've said in my content, I didn't think Turning Point's involved. I didn't think it's the security guards. I didn't think this. I didn't think that. That's been my initial take. And they're pushing me. Like, okay, keep pushing me this way. Like, you're looking more and more and more and more suspicious. A guy who was telling people, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. What the fuck? Like, why are you forcing the one guy who's been debunking conspiracies and trying to be objective about this and looking at it rationally into being a conspiracy theorist? My God. I don't know how, like, for some of you that are like real tinfoil, you got to be losing your goddamn minds at this point. Yeah, we're going to talk about the McCoys, Pastor McCoy. That's the next thing up. All right, let's hit the super chats before we jump into that. Sorry, I'm a little heated because, again, it's not just that Kash Patel is the worst fucking FBI director in history and is protecting fucking pedophiles and is, covering up fucking everything. He's also disrespecting a fellow first group Green Beret. And that is a big go fuck yourself for me. Anyway, I don't want to crash out, boys and girls. I don't want to crash out. All right. Fuck yeah, bro. Hell yeah, brother. Found the channel recently. A huge fan. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, brother. Yeah, brother. Cody Brown, $10. Thank you, brother. Love your content. Watch Ian's campus tour video. Look at the drainage over CK's right, up by the stairs. Perfect hiding spot, and the angles line up. Yeah, I talked to Ian about that. It is interesting. I don't know, man. It's just hard because who knows at this point. Dano, not the Lions Den. What's up, brother? While everyone is distracted with some of these mini issues taking place, what's running in the background? Stay righteously dangerous. While the government shut down, SNAP benefits are about to get turned off. You're about to have probably riots in the street, people running on grocery stores, probably the Insurrection Act being declared, National Guard being deployed. Probably all of that is on the way shortly in the next month or so. But, it should be fine. It should be fine, guys. It should be fine. Debo, hell yeah. What you gonna do when Hulkamania VFT runs wild on you, brother? Greeting from the West Tennessee. Hulkamania forever. Yeah, I haven't seen anybody complaining about the Hulkamania costume. You guys remember Joey Swole? His little crash out when he dressed up as Hulk, and then all his like super fragile fans got all butthurt about it, and he came out and apologized. I'm so sorry for dressing up like Hulk. No, not us, brother. Not us, brother. All right, Mark Canner, $10. Kash Patel's girlfriend might be an agent of a foreign government. Yeah, she might be. I wonder which one. But I still believe Trump was threatened by Charlie because Charlie had a strong following and was eligible for presidency in 2028. I think J.D. Vance would have been a lot more threatened by that than Trump, personally, which, that's an interesting one to look at the end with what we're going to talk about. Oh, there's my boy J.D. How many times did Israel send you to the island, Nate? Not enough. I'm still, guys, I'm telling you, and hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. If all of a sudden am just fucking Matt Tardio. No, I'm not fucking Matt Tardio, but I am Matt Tardio. And that sounded bad. And I just all of a sudden am pro-Israel and I'm just dropping heater posts like Netanyahu is the best fucking leader in the world. They got me and I'm accepting the 7K. Guys, think about this. Hold on, JD. First of all, JD would also fold too. If Israel, hear me out, guys, were to legitimately pay me $7,000 for every video and post I put out, man, I don't know. That'd be, I could like retire in a year, guys. Like, think about that. Would you guys really judge me? 7K a video and 7K a post? Would you judge me that much? Or would you be like, nah, we get it, Nate. We get it. That's like fucking 150 G's a month. You know what I mean? Like Officer Tatum, like you guys 100% know that fucking piece of shit is just fucking raking that cash. He's like, I don't give a fuck about the future of my channel. I know I've got 24 months or left before everyone on the internet hates my fucking guts and I burn every bridge I have and my entire brand is fucking destroyed, but I don't care because I'm going to stack enough money to bail and bounce. That's how these guys are looking at it, right? Like the writing's on the wall. We all know the future and it's not pro tiny hats. Gen Z is pulling at like 12% support, right? So if you see these influencers who are doing it, they're racking as much fucking cash as fast as goddamn possible while I can get this 12 to 18th month window while people, some like the Fox News boomers are still willing to watch their content. After that, they're hoes, dude. You're going to see Nick Fuentes once he gets his channel back on YouTube and he's mainstream. All those fuckers are gone, dude. All of them are gone. Going to be irrelevant. We can already see it, right? They're already burning in. Let's pull up. Hold on. Let's pull up Talmud Tatum's Instagram, and look at just a comment. Just look at we'll just look at one of his posts, and we'll just go to his comment section, right? Sorry, we're getting a little sidetracked, but that's right. This is going to be a fun stream. It's Halloween, right? Oh, I literally, guys, I got to show you this. This is how much I say this nickname. Hold on, if I can find it. This is what I just typed in on accident. Let me pull it up. I literally was gonna search him as Talmud Tatum. All right, I gotta. Okay. All right, whoops. All right, we'll get back to this. All right, officer. There is the Officer Tatum. All right. Let's look at this guy's comment section. Let's go for one that we know he's like bitching about, like a Nick Fuentes, maybe. Where we got? Oh, here we go. All right, look at this racist clown. Now let's look at the comment section immediately. This is his page, his channel. Look at this little racist clown. This is why Charlie wouldn't take him seriously. His entire platform, being a troll, he had zero value, just complaining, claims to be a Christian, yet he constantly talks this. It's not a one-off. Hodge twins immediately. He living in your mind rent free. Take it easy. Nick is right button. I fucking love Nick Fuentes. Officer Tatum, you're soft as hell. Those are the top comments on his Instagram page. His Instagram page, guys. That's not somebody else's. That's his personal Instagram page that he just gets drug every single fucking post he makes. This is like nobody likes the dude, but. Baby, that 7K feels good, brother. That 7K a post feels good, brother. That's his own comment section. His own community hates his fucking guts. Like he's one of those people that the only reason people tune into his stuff is so they can bash him. You know what I mean? He's like, for those of you who follow the second channel, he's kind of like Ben Azuli or Wes Watson. Right? He's got no real followers. All he has is people that hate his guts and come in and troll him in the comment section. So it's an angle, but dude, I don't know. Again, sorry. There's a couple people in the conservative. He's not conservative, by the way, in the conservative movement that I really, really don't fucking like. And there's not many people I don't like, guys. I actually like most people. I mean, you guys know I'm pretty quick to defend people on both sides. Talmud Tatum, Ben Shapiro, and Benny Johnson. Megyn Kelly now. Those four I really, 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 really don't like. I just think they're fucking total grifters. And they have no authenticity whatsoever to them. And that's why I like Nick Fuentes. Because while Nick, I think he says a lot of abrasive, crazy shit that I'm like, whoa, bro, too much for me. That dude is as authentic as it gets, man. And that's why he's becoming the biggest fucking name in conservative politics. So, yeah, they're not conservatives. That's a good point. Oh, Mark Levine, that's another one. Get him the fuck out. Get these people out, dude. We don't need them in our country or our party. Right? Leave. If all of these Zionists left the Republican Party, then I might find myself back into it. But they gotta find their way out. But anyway, if you guys are friends with anybody got like Mossad connections, and you want to hook me up, yeah, I'll probably 7,000 guys, 7,000 a post. That's a fucking lot of money. It's a lot more money than I'm making currently. So, but as you see, yeah, we haven't got there now. All right, we got super sidetracked. Let me jump back in. It's not just me though, right? Let's look at some of my other fellow SOF creators. Sean Ryan just put this out 4 days ago. Let's see what he feels about the FBI and the FBI and the Epstein files and all that.
Are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
I think what's happened with this whole Epstein thing, I think there are parts of it that are true, but I often wonder.
Yes, we are still talking about Jeffrey Epstein because you ran your campaign off getting these files released. Of course, we're still talking about Jeffrey Epstein. They released the footage, but oh, there's a blip, and it's like, dude, are you serious?
The biggest thing that I see on the internet is that people are saying that Epstein had ties to the Mossad.
They've botched it so bad from the very beginning when the influencers went to the White House holding up the binders like it's some type of a trophy.
But
this whole
anyway, I haven't watched that episode yet, but I watched the intro and just saw Sean just fucking dumping on the FBI and Trump really and everybody for what they're doing with the Epstein files. Yeah, dude. Yeah, we are still talking about the Epstein files, ladies and gentlemen. All of us are. It's not going away. Even if, Officer Tatum and Megyn Kelly want it to go away, Benny Johnson want it to go away. It's not going away, guys. So next, we got to jump into, we talked about, yes, we all know the FBI is fucking garbage. All right. Kash Patel, terrible at his job. There's no debating that. We know that. But we also know Turning Point, who I've tried to defend over and over and over again. Oh, sorry, I got sidetracked. Guys, that giant rant was all because of fucking JD. I didn't even know how I got to where I got on that rant. I'm sorry. We weren't even in the content anymore. So thanks a lot for that, JD, if you're still in the chat. Let me get back through the super chats before we move on. All right. Sorry, JD got me super unhinged and crashed out there a little bit. Joe, hush money, most likely backed by NDAs. Good point. Vin, dig the Threads costume. Can't accept Patel's wife as Mossad without accepting Erica maybe as well. I mean, I don't think it's his wife, it's his girlfriend, right? But I mean, she's actually, a tiny hat. So I think she's got a lot higher likelihood than Erica. But we're going to talk about that towards the end. Mark Canner, $10. We can all sit here and talk, but I feel now we all know what needs to be done. So I guess when America is going to understand it's we the people, not we the government. Godspeed, everybody. I mean, if we want real change, what will have to happen is something I can't say on YouTube because I would get banned, but you can probably guess. All right. You mind going on Redice TV, talking about Kirk? What's Redice TV? I'm not sure what that is, brother. Waiting for, there wasn't any traffic. They had a jet. Oh, intellectual iconoclasm with the, I love your icon, bro. The don't tread on me with the porcupine. That one's hilarious. Had to do W research. I still have reservations, but I admit Candace has been on point with a lot lately. Candace, she's not always right, but man, she has been right about a lot of stuff involving Turning Point USA so far that they've had to come out and admit she was right about. So, again, Candace is doing far more than most people in the space and trying to get down to the truth for sure. Megan was friends with Charlie. She just doesn't want to be next. Yeah, you're not wrong with that, Joe. There might be some potential in that too. You might not. Just that's what's so sketchy about it. But anyway, Halo's fan, what's up? What would be the reason for the conspiracy theory to hide the real murder of Charlie Kirk? I'm on the side of not believing the narrative put forward by the FBI, but don't understand why would they want to hide that? Like maybe Israel killed him. Do you really not understand why there would be a reason for that, or if the federal government was involved, or if some foreign agent was involved? Because they want this to be a hardcore leftist tranny fury that the far right and the MAGA party can use and say, look, see, the left is violent, which they might be, and this might be the case, but they would much prefer that be the case rather than, something like the Epstein files, where you find out the former prime minister of that country was actually, R-ing women. That's not great. It's not great for, we did the on Politics Tuesday, saw 422 to 6 when it comes to who's pro or against, that specific country. So yeah, the powers that be have a lot of incentive to make this just a hardcore leftist. And again, I'm not saying that it's not potentially that he wasn't, but everybody in the government and in MAGA would prefer that be the case rather than anything else. So Erica was 100% involved. She's Vance's next handler. Yeah, I don't know about that, but there is some bizarre stuff with her and JD we're going to talk about towards the end. Poll proved 4% of chat is feds. We probably do have some feds in here. I'm sure they keep an eye on what I'm saying. Break down what your tattoos mean. I got too many. It would take too long. They're mostly animals. Lions, tigers, bears, dragons, wolves. Oh my. And Munchkin. Got Munchkins, got everything. So mostly that. Tim Kennedy sold me Fent, one of the best usernames out there. Kind of hilarious that all it took to compromise Cash App PayPal was a moderately attractive white woman in one of those cool blue yellow FBI windbreakers. I know, dude. It's like the most obvious. I'm not gonna say anything racist, but you can probably guess where I was going with that. Cash Patel is doing exactly what Trump tells him. You're probably not wrong. Epstein tapes are a Democrat hoax. Wasn't it also rumored that the same Democrats are in the tapes as well? Yeah, Bill Clinton started the Epstein hoax and then put himself in there on purpose with Bill Gates because that's the smart play if you're the Democrats. Like, okay, roger that, bro. All right, Crash was super interested in Hunter's blank before taking control of the FBI. I guess we know why. I love your channel. Thank you, brother. Thank you. All right, we got Drew. Charlie Kirk was not shot in the neck with 30-06. That alone debunks the entire FBI case. Only one that takes more Adderall than Cash is Jesse. Are you talking about Jesse on fire? Yeah, he can talk, dude. I like Jesse though. It's a good dude. Nicholas Cryer, $10. Don't flame me too much. Prior enlisted want soft skill set, but don't want to fight for Israel. Seer Spec SR wannabe from last night. Any advice? If you asked that question last night, brother, I'm telling you, One's Ready, the One's Ready podcast. My buddies Aaron, Peaches, and Trent over there. Anything Air Force Special Operations related, you need to go follow them. They have all the advice for you, bro. Best page and channel there is out there for that. So head on over there and check them out. One's Ready. Boo Rat, and tell them I sent you, and tell them I said fuck those guys when you come. By the way. Just kidding. I love all those guys. Boo Radley, $5. Who's controlling Crash Patel? Clearly he's compromised, but I don't think he was on the island despite Epstein's outdoor showers. No, I don't think he was, but I think he's now the mouthpiece of, he's FBI director for the current administration. And Republicans don't want to release the Epstein files. That's the reality of it. Like, hate it or love it, they're the ones voting no on that. So could the Cash Valhalla public comment be a confirmation of a process on schedule? I don't know. I just think I don't want to say it, man. I don't think the I'll see you on Valhalla, brother, had any deep ties or meanings. I just think the dude's a fucking loser and he says stupid shit. Personally, sorry if that hurts anybody's feelings, including his, but just seems like a giant douche, personally. But anyway, let's jump into just a nerd. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump into TPUSA, and we're going to take a look at my buddy Ian Carroll's video first, because he's the one that I believe found this initially. And we're going to talk about this because, this has gotten very, very bizarre very, very fast, ladies and gentlemen. And that is Mikey McCoy, chief of staff, Charlie's chief of staff, and Mikey McCoy's dad, who is a pastor, and just the bizarreness and the lies of some things that happened, right? So I'm sure most of you have seen this, right? Which is, again, Mikey McCoy's actions. I'm going to get back to it here before, and then we'll come back to his dad's comments. But let's watch this. Ian breaks this down. If you haven't seen this, yeah, it's real weird.
There's a lot of things that we sort of kind of know. There's a lot of things that we've got information about, but it's like, can you trust the source? There's a lot of parts of this story that are speculation and are probably always going to be speculation. But video is video.
Yep.
And yeah, there's AI, there's editing, there's all sorts of stuff that can happen to video. But the original video footage that we've got of this event, I think we feel pretty good about most of the original video footage. If it's on video, it happened, probably, almost certainly. And we need some explanations for what's on video. There's a lot of video, actually. Not as much as we might expect, but there is video. And so maybe there's a rational explanation for everything that's caught on video.
Probably not.
But
look at Ian's
there's
face.
got to be some sort of explanation because it happened and it's on video. Because Sam had to zoom in on this guy right here in the background. And it's kind of hard for you to see. But this is Mikey McCoy. And Sam did another expose about tracking Mikey through the whole day because Mikey was right by Charlie. He rode in with him in the SUV. He was filming. A lot of the footage that we saw at the beginning of the event, like of Charlie throwing hats, was from Mikey's phone. Mikey was right behind him and beside him all the way through. And then when Charlie was speaking, Mikey wound up right here to Looker's right of the tent, wearing his black backpack with his white long sleeve shirt. And in just a second, we'll watch and track him. Remember, chief of staff. Yep. He's like the right hand guy. And he was at Charlie's right hand all day long.
Gang violence. Great.
Just later. Just going to casually walk away.
Okay, shot rings out. And you can see that Mikey's left hand goes up, kind of like it's going to his ear to cover his ear. And his right hand is holding his phone. Okay, that's his phone. And we know it's his phone from more than just this, but that is his phone. Okay, so it looks like his left arm goes to plug an ear maybe, and his right hand holding his phone that was already kind of crossed like this starts to come up towards his ear.
0.83 seconds,
but
by the way.
Sam makes the important note that no dial motion is detected, right? It's the phone is in his arms, and it's immediately going up towards his ear. Okay? And he turns around. And Charlie has still not fallen over. You're about to see Charlie fall through the frame right here, but he's already turned around and walking away. And there's Charlie. Mikey's out of line of sight, and he's already on the phone. At least
immediately.
It would appear that he's already on the phone.
0.8 seconds.
And then in the same video.
I mean, watch this.
But now, walking through the frame in the background, white hat.
Walking, just casually.
Again, right here. Black backpack, white shirt, white hat.
Might have to mute you here, Ian. Your slow down audio is brutal.
Like chief of staff?
Hold on. We gotta pause real quick, guys. We got a special guest that's just shown up. Special guest, Lion Munchkin. Lion Munchkin has shown up to the chat. She's not happy at all right now, but as you can see, Lion Munchy. Sorry. All right, Munchkin had to make a quick appearance. She's absolutely miserable with that on. All right, sorry. Lion Munchkin had to do a little drop into the channel, guys. All right, let's get back to it. All right. She's got her little Lion Munchkin costume on. All right, we're back to it. All right, I'm gonna it's like super slow framed audio sounds so bad, guys. It's not Ian's fault. It's just the way it is when you try to do slow-mo with audio.
Wait.
Look at this. Look at him walk.
Our
As
audio.
Charlie is evacuated behind him. But what's he talking about? He doesn't actually know anything yet. He walked away without seeing what happened to Charlie. Who's he talking to?
Right? So this is from a different video, right? From back behind the scene where Charlie is currently getting loaded into the SUV. We all remember the timeline here. It was pretty quick. It was like within a minute and a half or so. And bro is already on his way out of the venue, walking towards the parking lots over there. This is over in that direction is where the memorial got set up eventually. There is parking over there, but that's certainly not a logical thing to do at this moment, is to walk slowly towards the parking. When like he didn't see what happened to Charlie. He didn't see the response. He didn't see anything. He just turned and walked away on the phone. So who's he talking to? If we go back to his dad, didn't we just watch Rob say?
All right, so we're going to back it up because he did this first. But this is where, guys, this is where it gets even. Obviously, that behavior. Come on, dog. 0.8 seconds. The gunshot rings out. Charlie gets hit in 0.8 seconds. Less 1/1000. Not 1/1000. 1/1000. Boom. Turned. And I'm just a nice, slow, chill walkout. Everybody else is pretty concerned because, somebody just got shot in the throat and there's an active shooter response. Not him. He's chilling, boys. I can tell you this. Guys, I've been shot at before. I ain't never seen anyone in combat when rounds start flying past your face act like that. Nobody. Not the toughest fucking Green Beret in the world reacts like that. I'm just don't mind me. I'm just walking around. Bow. I feel like the only way you would react that way is if, I don't know, maybe you knew that was about to happen. I don't want to throw out accusations, but I ain't never seen anybody 3 feet away from someone getting shot react that way in my entire life. And I was a Green Beret. So if I haven't seen it, it's pretty bizarre. But that's not what makes it the most bizarre. Because we got to look at what his dad said Mikey did. Pastor. Like a pastor, like a priest, like a religious pastor decided to say this. Let's check that out. Oh, it's just so bizarre.
Staff. Those are his kids. He is the son. If you recognize that name, it's because he is the son of Pastor Rob McCoy.
Justin's the CFO, chief financial officer, and Mikey's the chief of staff.
Those are his kids.
And I'm watching the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, "Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck."
Oh,
we're going to come back to that statement in just a second.
He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him. And
wait. I didn't even notice that before. He just said that Mikey had blood all over him. Let's remember that in just a moment.
I want to address something. The stupidity of the internet.
This is the fun part.
Signals? Really? And the other guy, Dan, the security guard, he's somehow tied in with this conspiracy? Get over yourself.
Anyways, we don't need to listen to his whiny voice all day.
So he calls the internet. He tells us to get over ourselves. How could we? What did he just say? He said Mikey was directing traffic. Mikey was directing things. Mikey was covered in blood from trying to save. Yeah, Ian's funny, right? Protect Ian for sure. Also, go follow Ian's channel if you're not. Mikey was directing traffic. Mikey was covered in blood from trying to save Charlie's life. Because that seems like that's not what we saw. Right? Is that what we saw? As I recall, I'm going to turn the volume off for this. Yeah, that's not what we saw. There's Mikey. This is what Mikey did. Mikey just bailed, dude. There he goes. See ya. As he, yeah. As he heads out. And I believe the camera pans here. Yep. And there he goes. Just see ya. Nice slow walk on the phone. So, let me ask you guys. Does all that seem normal? Does what Mikey, and again, I've been the one that's been saying the security's not involved. Turning Point USA can't be involved. Erica Kirk's not involved. That's been me this entire time. And now look at me sitting here going, well, that's not great. That's not fucking great. Mikey McCoy, 0.8 seconds on the phone, casually walking away, walks off into the distance. And then his dad fucking lies about what he was doing. Like blatantly lies. Mikey McCoy's a hero. Why would you lie? Like, here, this is the thing with Turning Point. Turning Point's been caught lying about a bunch of stuff right now. Turning Point, obviously, they're lying about that. We can watch that on video. They're very clearly, Alex Kolbeck was very clearly lying about the stupid Man of Steel neck. It was found just beneath the skin. And then later he comes out and goes, no, it wasn't found just beneath the skin. Actually, it hit him in the throat, destroyed all of his vertebrae, and now it's in the T1. I don't know why you would lie about that to begin with. Also lied about Candace Owens. Candace Owens came out and said Charlie Kirk was leaving the pro-Israel cause. Turning Point trashed her for that. Said she's a liar. And she released the text messages. And Turning Point USA had to come out after that and say, actually, yeah, Candace Owens is right. We lied. So yanking SD cards out of cameras. The security detail doing nothing to save his life. And again, I'm not trying to be tinfoil hat, but this is getting fucking ridiculous with this organization. And it's not just me, because they came out and tried to have a response to this, which made things 10 times worse for them, by the way. So I can't believe they did this. They tried to come out and talk about debunking the viral video about Mikey McCoy. They didn't debunk anything, by the way. They just made things way worse. So yeah, well, we'll just watch.
It went viral this weekend, and it's a video of Charlie's chief of staff. We made the decision that we wanted to address this head on because, candidly.
Also, timeout. They're on the hold on. They're on the Charlie Kirk show, Charlie's YouTube channel, not TPUSA's. And they're talking about Charlie Kirk's chief of staff, who are going to try to explain this away. Why the fuck isn't Mikey McCoy on this episode, on this channel, explaining it for him fucking self? Why do they have to have the little team come out to try to explain this away for him? He's the chief of staff for Charlie Kirk. It's Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel. Like, get your ass on the show. Why aren't you defending yourself, dude? Anyway, I digress. Let's watch this though. But to me, that's bizarre. Why didn't you come out and fucking defend yourself if you're innocent?
There's so much intrigue, and I'm gonna do a generous thing. The intrigue is because people care about Charlie. Okay, so that part I understand.
You're more generous than I'd be.
Yes, and that's fine. And I am going to give you the floor here now, Blake, because you were there and you actually interacted with Mikey. You were with Mikey. You left the scene and then connected with Mikey. So explain what the video is.
All right, I'm not going to set the scene. I'm not going to wallow in it at length, but it's gone viral and people have asked us to address it, and we're going to do so briefly. The video, without going way into it, is by, I can't even remember the guy's name.
They can't remember Ian Carroll's name. They can't remember Ian Carroll's name. One of the biggest names in, conservative investigative journalism. They can't remember his name. Turning Point. You don't know who Ian Carroll is? You don't know who Candace Owens is? Okay. Off to a really fucking bad start, bud. Really bad start right out the gate. Also, the pompous attitude. Like, I wouldn't give these people any more time, but fine, we'll do a short response to this. Like the pompousness of it. All right, let me get back to it. Sorry.
Made a video that is attacking Mikey, Charlie's friend.
Not attacking Mikey. It's literally just a video showing what Mikey was doing, period.
And Charlie's chief of staff, a guy all of us know, a guy who we've seen on the show here the last few weeks. They are attacking him, claiming, based on a few seconds of clips, that he allegedly has like a nonchalant or calm reaction.
Yes, that's exactly what he had.
To Charlie's murder. And I'm just going to be blunt about this. This is a extremely disgusting attack. And I can speak to that because I was there when it happened and I was next to Mikey when it happened. And what I can say is, I can't say every single thing that happened, but I want to talk about this specific narrow thing, that the shooting occurs. I am next to Mikey. Both of us hear a loud crack. We both turn. We both see Charlie, who has been shot. Both of us, I think at about the same time, realize that that means there is a shooter who is on the scene. And, you know, you just hear the crack, so you don't know, did it come from far away? Did it come from close? Is there a mass shooter unfolding right now? So I and him both had the reaction of, let's get out of here before we're both shot. That is not us abandoning Charlie. Charlie had a security team.
Okay, so we just watched Mikey McCoy. Did it look like he left the area in post-haste? Oh, God, we're getting shot at. We need to leave. He's literally fucking lying. Like, we can watch on camera what he did. He pulled his phone out in 0.83 seconds, put it to his ear, turned around, and slowly walked off into the distance. What are you talking about? And I'm not going to play the rest of the thing because this fucking just makes me angry watching this guy just fucking lie through his teeth. Which, again, this isn't like me saying I think he's a liar. It's we can watch the fucking video. To Ian's point, the video evidence is the video evidence, right? And it's going to piss everybody off. And I'll show you that it pissed everybody off because we'll go to their comment section again, just like Tatum. Let's see what Turning Point USA's own people, our own community who watched this video think. Let's see what the comment section had to say. Here we go. Jump into it, straight into the comments. First comments. All right. Which this one's a little bit newer, 112 likes. But all right, 838. This comment section gives me faith in humanity. Do you guys really think people are asking questions about Charlie Kirk's assassination for the sake of making content? Perhaps some are, but it's so dishonest to act like there isn't anything fishy going on with the FBI's narrative. Classic, believe everything you're told and nothing you see rhetoric going on here. Again, all the top comments of their own channel, their own videos. All right, let's see what we got. The only hero that day was Charlie. Selfie Boy was not one of them. This channel feels so dark and depressing without Charlie. The energy isn't good. Here's another one. With friends like you guys, Charlie didn't need enemies. Disgusting. This is Turning Point US. This is Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel, by the way. Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel. And this is their community, and these are the comments. They're all bad. Right? You guys aren't fooling anyone. Like, look at every single comment. Every single comment's negative, telling them you're fucking liars. That's Turning Point USA's own audience saying, you guys are full of fucking shit, and we know it. Their own audience, not Candace Owens' audience. That's their audience. So here's what I would say. First of all, and this is to Turning Point USA, okay? Alex Kolvek, Mikey McCoy, Ben Shapiro, fucking all these people. Here's what I would say. Get the fuck off of Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel. Stop fucking making a mockery out of Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel. He built that YouTube channel, not fucking you guys. Go be on your Turning Point USA channel. Build your own channel. Don't use his channel to put out this bullshit content that all of the comments are fucking negative about. Get the fuck off of Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel. A lot of us care about what happened to Charlie Kirk. Okay? Get the fuck off of his YouTube channel. Stop putting content out on his YouTube channel, you fucking leeches. Stop. You have Turning Point USA. Put your content out on there. Get the fuck off of his channel. You're destroying his legacy, Turning Point USA. You, not Candace Owens, not me, not Ian Carroll. And you can tell by your own comment section, you are fucking disgracing your friend's legacy and his YouTube channel. And I hope people clip this in my fucking Hulk Hogan outfit. Get the fuck off of his YouTube channel. I don't know how many times I need to say that. You have no business doing content on his YouTube channel anymore. None. Okay? Let's do a poll. Let's see what almost 6,000 people in here who are invested, highly invested in this. Obviously, that's why you're here. Let me do our own poll here. Should TPUSA put content out on Charlie's channel? Send it. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm being unreasonable. I doubt it, but you guys are disgracing his legacy, and I'm fucking tired of watching it. Again, you're just blatantly lying to our faces, and we're fucking tired of it. So we'll let those kick through. But, guys, I mean, I don't know if you saw this, but JD Vance showed up to a Turning Point USA event. I'm sure you guys have seen the fallout from that. But he got nothing but questions like this, and I'll show you. I'll show you this post from our, not our friend. I don't know him personally. I bet you I'll get connected with him eventually because we always speak positively of him. But Nick Fuentes, who came out and talked about JD Vance showing up to take questions from the Turning Point audience. These were the questions he was asked, by the way. I watched it. He did a terrible job at fielding those questions. It was an hour long, so I'm not going to go through it, but I can show you guys the questions that he was asked. These are the questions that he was asked, JD Vance. And these were from Turning Point's audience. Here you go from Nick. Is Trump controlled by Israel? Why are you fighting Thomas Massey? How is it America first to support Israel? Why did you marry a Hindu? Explain your connections to Palantir. That was all the questions JD Vance received. Yes, if you guys haven't watched this, you need to go watch it. He got trashed. He got absolutely fucking trashed by Turning Point's audience. People are over it, man. I'm telling you guys, this is it's moving in a specific direction. And with Turning Point, with the weird shit they're doing, the bizarre shit they're doing, the lies they're doing. Ugh. All right, what does our poll say? Maybe I want to find out if I was being ridiculous. Chat will, oh, nope. Here we go. Should Turning Point USA put content out on Charlie's channel? 94% say no. 6% say yes. That's pretty blatant, guys. We're not talking 60-40, 70-30, 80-20 on these things. 95-5 is pretty obvious how people think. Okay. So again, guys, you guys watch a lot of you have been watching my whole coverage of this. I've been one of the guys who's been Turning Point USA. We can't look at them. Like, don't look at Erica. Don't look at the bodyguards. It's not them. It's not them. It's not them. And I'm not saying it is still, but goddamn, can you please stop lying? Please stop lying and like getting caught lying. Because guess what? Candace keeps fucking catching you. And Ian keeps fucking catching you. It's wild. It's just getting so bizarre to me. All right. And speaking of Candace, things are getting even more bizarre. Because Candace started talking about, she talked about this before. But to make things even weirder, apparently now we know that the Egyptian military was in Provo, Utah, right before. Probably got schwacked. You may wonder, well, Egypt, that's kind of, how is that connected? Well, if you know anything about, the geopolitical landscape in the Middle East, Israel and Egypt are pretty close. You guys know when it comes to foreign aid, U.S. foreign aid, Israel, obviously the number one recipient of U.S. foreign aid in history. I think it's like $300-400 billion at this point. You guys know who the number 2 recipient of U.S. foreign aid is? Behind Israel? Anybody in the chat throw it out there? I bet you can guess. Shouldn't be a tough guess. Right, not right behind Israel, but they're number 2. Yeah, Egypt, of course. Of course. Egypt, yup. Yup, on request of Israel. So when you know that background, well, then this shit starts to look a lot more bizarre. And again, it's Candace. But whether you believe Candace, you don't believe Candace, she digs a lot of shit up.
I'll report to you that it is a fact that on 9/4, there were, this was not some dropping by in Utah as they were trying to claim because the plane needed to be serviced. That's what they ran with. They ran with, this could have been a routine servicing. I guess there's just no place from Egypt all the way to Utah that an Egyptian military plane can like get a tire changed. This is totally routine. Nothing to see here. Well, I'm telling you that for a fact, that plane was carrying military subcontractors. And for a fact, they were dropped off in Provo. Okay. And that they did not make it back to Cairo. I showed you the plane left. They left on September 10th. It then laid over in Wilmington, Delaware, and departed back for Cairo on the 11th. I am telling you that when that plane left, okay, those people were mysteriously missing from that plane. Okay.
Okay, so people are going to say it's Candace. She's being crazy, right? Think about what she just brought up, right? Think about what she just said. Now I want to go back to earlier in the episode and bring this back up. Keep in mind what Candace Owens just said about a foreign country potentially being dropped off, Egyptian military subcontractors being dropped off in Provo, Utah. Now we go back to this, right? And we say, wait a second. Well, why was Joe Kent looking into potential foreign involvement into this? Now, why might he have been doing that? Could there be any correlation between a foreign nation's military subcontractors being dropped off in Provo, Utah, and Joe Kent wanting to look into potential foreign involvement into this case? Think there's any potential correlation there? Maybe. Is it all coincidences? And why did Kash Patel freak out and try to shut that down so fast? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But when you look at these things and you go, okay, that seems a little odd that an Egyptian military plane was dropping off military subcontractors right before, or like, and then Joe Kent comes out or doesn't come out, but Joe Kent is trashed by Kash Patel for looking into foreign involvement in this case. Maybe it's not correlated at all. Maybe it's random. Could be a huge coincidence. Could be. But I'm just saying, to Candace's point, you can say Candace is crazy, but, if somebody like Joe Kent is looking into this, maybe she's not that crazy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Right? If the director of the National Counterterrorism Center is interested in foreign involvement in this case, and there was foreign military in the area at the time, I don't know. Don't know. Who knows? It's good. We could just be crazy, guys. All right. We got to hit some super chats, and then we're going to jump into, where were we at? We're going to get into the bizarreness with JD Vance as well, because yes, it's fucking weird. Oh, and we still got to get into Range Day Bros new ballistic video, which is very, very interesting as well. So we'll hit these super chats real quick, and then we'll move on to that. Oh, we got this one already. I think we got this one already. Sorry, I got to catch back up to where I was. I don't want to miss them. What are the odds? Here we go. What are the odds of Vance 2028 with VP? Wait for it. Trump as VP. And that's not who I think is going to be as VP. And we're going to talk about that here in a minute. I think we might have a certain someone who's being set up as a great sort of DEI pick for Republicans as a VP. Can anybody guess? Put your guesses in the chat who you think I'm going to say might be a potential VP for JD Vance in 2028. Vance Patel. Put him in there. Let's see if anybody guesses what I'm thinking in my head before we get into the next section here. All right. AMC, thank you very much, brother. Jesus. Okay. Jesus Christo, $10. All hail Lion Queen. Yeah, all hail baby Munchkin. Munchkin ever FaceTimes Andy's pup Yavi? No, but I am talking. We've been in talks. I'm thinking about going out. What do you guys think? I'm thinking about going out to Andy's in Montana, December timeframe, doing his podcast, hanging out with him, Andy Stump. So it's in the works. It's in the works. So we might get them together then. West 50, no one walks off like that. Mikey walked off like a range control officer arguing with his wife on the phone. For those of you who have never been in the military, that's a great, hilarious comment. Totally expecting gunfire. Yeah, brother. No, like literally, we're talking about like a potential mass shooting just broke out. You don't know if you're about to get shot in the fucking back of the head. Like the dude is 5 feet away from you who just got shot, and you're just like, I'm good, dog. Let me get on the phone and just slowly walk out of here with no sense of urgency whatsoever. Not what human beings do under fire. No human beings do that. None. Zero do that, to your point. Thank you, brother. Hell yeah, brother. Appreciate you. All right, Mikey arrived at UVU with Charlie in the same vehicle. More sus for him to be leaving the area. Yeah, why is he bailing, dude? Where are you going, dog? Don't you help your friend? You just got shot in the throat. Maybe not. All right. Mikey Matrix, $10. Do you think Tyler Robinson is connected to the FBI? If he was framed, I would think that his family would be way more vocal than that. He's innocent. His family is not going to be vocal because anything they say could negatively affect him in the trial. That's why anything like this, anyone connected is going to be, their legal team is going to tell them, do not fucking say anything to anyone. So I don't think that necessarily has anything to do with FBI. I don't know. But do I think that there's some potential after watching the Turkey Tom's video, which I keep telling you guys, if you have not seen the Turkey Tom video on Lance and Tyler, you need to watch it. After watching that video, do I think that they are involved? Yes. Do I think there's potentially some type of assistance? Almost guaranteed. What that is, I don't know. Foreign government, CIA, MK Ultra, who fucking knows? Soros back, deep state, I don't know, but I do not believe that this kid acted completely by himself. Even if Tyler Robinson is the shooter and he used a 30-06 and everything the FBI is telling you is true, I still do not believe that he didn't have help from somebody else. There's no way that he didn't have help from somebody else, in my opinion. Everything else could be completely true, and we might find that out. I still wouldn't believe that he acted alone. It doesn't make sense to me. All right. Wouldn't run if you knew there was no second shot coming. That is a great point. Great point. To my point of bullets ring out. I guess if you knew it's only one gunshot coming, you might not be that worried. Who knows? Traitors for America, or Traitors of Americans for Foreign Governments. Yeah, there's a lot of that. We know who we were talking about with those. The old Cheeto Dust Lip crew. Joshua James, $5. Hello, fellow soldier. He did signal, look from every angle in many different videos. Hours. That shot came from Charlie's 93 degrees angle, 3 stories up. We are going to look at Range Day Bros video, who just replicated that exact shot, actually, here in a minute. Kash got an Israeli Prager handler girlfriend. Yes, he does, in my opinion. Allegedly. I don't think you need to get nabbed up by Kash Patel. You know what I mean? Although that would make me such a G. If Kash came and arrested me, I'd get so much street cred on the internet. Oh my God, he would make my future if he pulled that off. So I don't think he'll do it. Das Green, $10. Why would he be walking in the parking lot if he arrived in cars with the CK team? What card could he have possibly been expecting to find? I don't know. But he was headed out there. He was headed out somewhere. Not worried about much. That bullet went through Charlie's right ear. Ooh, I don't know. The trio on TPUSA is woke, no reality. Yeah, anyone else sick of Erica and her fake tears? We're going to talk about that a little bit. F Israel. Yeah, I agree with that one. Smells like shit, looks like shit, feels like shit. But Kash Patel says don't smell it. Effing shit. Well, that's because Kash Patel can't smell the smell of shit. That's a good joke. That's a good joke, if you that's a good joke. If you pick that one up, there's going to be a lot of people that didn't catch that one. But let me break it down a little bit for you if you missed that joke. It's kind of like body odor, right? If you smell like body odor, you can't actually smell the body odor on yourself. So he doesn't smell shit, right? Get it? All right. Anyway, sorry. We'll keep moving. You are my absolute hero for what you just said to TPUSA. They are disgusting. Love your show. Wendy, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Look, again, I don't want to see Charlie get fucking disrespected. And he is by his own people on his own YouTube channel that he built through blood, sweat, and tears. And I can tell you, as someone who has a YouTube channel nowhere near the size of Charlie Kirk's, I put an insane amount of effort into this thing. And if my show just got shit on by my friends and family after I got executed, yeah, that would suck. So please stop doing that. Everyone on stage with CK that day acted strangely and have acted even more strangely since. You're not wrong. First watch you and cracked up when you knocked Candace and thought Nate will learn. She isn't perfect. Oh, look, she isn't perfect, but she's a journalist, has a team investigate and admits when she's wrong. Love your show. Look, I've already said I'm a fan of Candace. She's just not right all the time. Neither am I. But I've given Candace her credit a lot of different times. I think she's a dog with a bone, and I think she's right more than she's wrong. And I think she has a different approach than I do. She kind of throws everything at the wall, whereas like as she does content, whereas I try to, break things down myself as meticulous as I can before I put the content out, because I don't like being wrong. On the internet, if you say one thing, I'm telling you guys, you might not realize it, but when you have a YouTube channel, if you say one tiny thing wrong on anything, I could do a 15-minute video on Venezuela. And if I got one little fact wrong in that 15-minute video with tons of information, that's all like half the audience will pay attention to. So anyway, what happens if we solve the case? If government is involved, how to overcome that official narrative if they continue to disregard the conspiracies? Well, here's the thing. The government is not going to solve the case and find out that the government was involved. That's not how the government works. Okay. Now, if we solve the case, well, we probably won't be able to because we don't have access to the evidence that we need. We have all the evidence that we're going to get, and no one has come close to solving it. So we kind of got what we got, unfortunately, at this point. Nat socks, like me, do not buy the official narrative. Munchkin deserves more camera time, to be honest. I know, but she's just not happy about being in the lion costume. She had a little Munchkin's pretty grumpy. If you don't follow Munchkin on Instagram, Valhalla Munchkin, by the way, she's a very, very grumpy cat. Trump for the wood chipper from Chandler. Well, JD Delay's whole thing is putting PDFs in wood chippers. We don't know for sure, but those files seem to be pretty bad. All right, Laura Trump is VP in 28. God, I hope not. She should stick to her music career. That's another joke, by the way. All right, let's keep it moving here. Don't forget to say your prayers and eat your vitamins, kids. Ooh, yeah, brother. Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. That was Hulk Hogan's message. You know what I mean? Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. American hero. You might not like him because he said some not nice things about different people, but Terry and Hulk Hogan, separate the two. Hulk Hogan is a character, right? That's who we like. Catherine Smith, $10. Where is Erica on all this? We're going to show you where she is on all this. She's on a tour. She's on a podcast tour. And yeah, was that a real picture of her kissing Vance? I didn't see her kiss Vance, but we're going to show that clip here in a bit. See, Kirk was an alien. Neck spine thicker than Norm. Yeah, he was hybrid, bro. He was mixed with like bear. He had bear spine, grizzly bear spine. Joe Kent was TFO. He's more of an authority than Cosplay Cash on this topic. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. You should. If we were smart, we would immediately fire Kash Patel and just put Joe Kent in charge of the FBI. immediately. But we're not going to do that. John Hanish. On the upside, it looks like the legal team is good, and the judge is pushing back on local law enforcement and wanting them to remove cameras and press. What do you mean? Is the legal team pushing back on the judge? You're saying that the legal team telling the judge, hey, no, you have to have cameras? If that's the case, that's great. If the legal team is wanting the cameras removed also, that would be super sketchy. But I think what you're saying is the legal teams are saying to the judge, no, we need to have cameras. And if you're the defense, you 100% want cameras in there, I would assume. It's the prosecution who I would assume doesn't want cameras. Morella, $5. I would rather you be wrong and admit you're wrong than lie all the time about like our government. Yeah, I mean, I admit I'm wrong. I admitted, especially when it comes to supporting this administration. I fucked that one up bad. My bad, guys. Well, you learn. Right? When new information hits you, hopefully you can change your perspective. And it'll be this way for this case, man. If this case, guys, if this goes to trial, and let me tell you this up front, okay, before y'all get mad a month from now when we're covering this, if this thing goes to trial and there is like insane amounts of new evidence and like everything is so blatantly obvious that it was Tyler, and somehow we see how he got a 30-06 to the roof and they can match ballistics and everything and explain it all away and real evidence, then I'll say, all right, you got me. I will. I'm not just going to keep being like, no, just because I don't think it's true, but I don't think that's what we're going to get. But in the rare case that it might happen, I'll be willing to change my perspective. I don't believe that's what we're going to see though, but we'll see. It's Johnny Dog, $5. I don't know what to think of all this, man. Nothing makes sense. Even after the official story is bullshit, I still can't make sense of it all. Bro, I get it, dude. I think that's where we're all at. Here's what's so crazy about this. Is the official narrative makes no sense. It's got all the holes in the world. But after 6 weeks, I can't give you or prove anything different to the official narrative. I can tell you the official narrative doesn't make any fucking sense and is almost impossible. But I can't then solve it for you. And that's what makes this case so bizarre, and it's what's made everybody so compelled by it at the same time is like, we know the official narrative's probably bullshit, but we also have no clue. There's 15 different options of different conspiracies. Shot from behind, you got shot from behind in the trunk. You've got maybe shot from Tyler Robinson, but it's a different gun. You got drones, you got cameras, you got palm gun guy, you got exploding lapel mics. It's just, there's so many options and none have really been really disproved. I mean, like I can disprove like a lot of them. The lapel mic doesn't like ballistically or through Newtonian physics make sense and like different things like that, but I can't really debunk a lot of them. And I think I like this comment. It's starting to feel like it's this confusing on purpose. Yeah, I like that comment. All right. Laz, $50. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate you. Retired after 25 years of service in the fire department. Hell yeah, brother. Good for you, man. That is a very honorable career in 25 years, and I'm glad that you're on the backside. Hopefully you're having a good time. Just wanted to thank you for your service. Keep up the good fight. Thank you, us. I appreciate you, brother. Enjoy the retirement. I can tell you it is nice having come from a highly physical, demanding job to being retired and doing stuff like this, brother. So enjoy it, man. What you gonna do when VFT exposes you, brother? Oh, appreciate you, dog. All right, we're almost there, and then we're gonna get back into it. Chandler, I fucked up too. I was Trump initially years ago. Look, I've never been like super pro Trump. I've supported Trump off and on based off of when I thought he was doing a good job with his policy. And that is not what I see right now. If Trump were to pivot and I were to see a massive resurgence into America first in the next couple of years, you'll see me come out and support him. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But I don't think that's going to happen, brothers. Stinky, $5. If as many people are in a conspiracy surrounding Kirk's murder as seems to be, the truth will eventually come out. Maybe. Look at JFK. Look at 9/11. Look at MLK. Look at the moon landing. So I wish that was true, man, but like history has not proven that that is typically the case, actually, which is kind of bizarre. But I hope so. What's in cup? Your extra chipper tonight? Yeah, we got the gas station booze tonight. It's the one night I'm drinking. all month. We're taking the whole month off of drinking, other than this one because it's Halloween. So yes, we got gas station Fireball in the books tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we're trying to lean up a little bit, get back into fighting shape, doing a lot of combatives right now. And yeah, I was up to about 256 pounds. Cardio, not great. Ooh. So I'm down to about 230 now. And so cutting the drinking out is a big part of that, but not for Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think Erica Kirk knows the truth? No, I don't. I don't think she does. There's some interesting takes I've seen. People think that maybe Erica Kirk is actually Candace Owens' source. That's a very interesting one. And I think there could be some potential truth to that. That's a long-winded one. I think Ian Carroll covered that pretty deeply. John Hanish, again, thank you, brother. Yes, the judge told local LE to request to dismiss the request for plainclothes hearing and having cameras removed was inappropriate because they are not a party in this case. The judge told to request. Wait, the judge told law enforcement the request to dismiss the request for plainclothing. So somebody wanted to keep him in the jumpsuit and they dismissed that, and having cameras removed was inappropriate. Yeah, it's 100% inappropriate. One, it's a state case. It's not a federal case. There's absolutely no reason you wouldn't have this televised. Pretty much every state case is like this. The Kyle Rittenhouse case, OJ, right? Federal cases, pretty much never cameras are allowed, like the Diddy trial. But this one, it makes no sense. So that's what's going to make it even more bizarre. If they do no cameras, then that's going to be a big yikes. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Have you heard the latest theory that Tyler Robinson is actually an AI creation and nobody's actually seen the guy in the flesh? Maybe. If he's going to be in the courtroom, that's going to be pretty good AI. And me and Ian Carroll and JD DeLay and a few other people are talking about potentially going and trying to, because it'll be a public trial if it's a state trial. Like, you can line up and wait to get in line. We'll probably pay some homeless people to save our spots overnight for 20-something hours, and then try to get into the trial for a couple of the days so we can bring you the content. We won't be able to like film it, but we'll be able to be there and be in person. We're going to try to, at least. We'll see if they let us in the courtroom. Probably not. Elgato, if in the FBI scene, no car person in the parking lot reacted to the sounds, or that there's a person moving abnormally, deaf should hear the gunshot at least. Interesting. Have you heard of Acre Trader? I have not. I don't know what Acre Trader is, Chandler. Sorry, brother. Vin Mass, I could be watching the World Series, but I prefer paying attention. Thanks for your service. White Owl is a great ride. Try it. Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind and appreciate it. All right. Chip Diesel, $10. I think Erica is a widow in denial. I've seen people act really weird over the death of someone close to them. Yes, me and Brent Tucker talked about this last night. Unfortunately, in our line of career, we go to a lot of funerals, guys. Been to a lot of funerals in my career, just like every other Green Beret, every other infantryman through the global war and terror. And I've seen widows who act, try to act super strong and they're in denial. And then later you see that they completely fall apart. So I still am not trying to drudge Erica Kirk at all, other than what we're going to show, because the shit she did with JD Vance is just fucking gross. But other than that, like, I don't think she's involved. God, I hope not, but I don't think so. The Suspect Hero, $10. You are the first streamer I've ever subscribed to and donated to. Well, thank you very much. Glad I could pop that cherry for you. I don't think we'd agree on policy, but as long as the search for truth remains the top priority, I will stay subscribed. We don't have to agree on everything, man. I don't agree with anybody on everything. But that doesn't mean we can't, be friends and support each other. All right. So let's get back into this. Yes. All right. We have to get into do we want to do, let's see, chat. Do we want to do Range Day Bro's new ballistic test first, or do we want to do the Erica Kirk, JD Vance fucking weird shit first? All right. We got both of them on the docket. What do you guys want to hit? Let me see in the chat. Throw them in the chat. Range Day Bro. Ballistic test. Erica. Come on, chat. Let me see them. Range Day. All right, we got more Range Day Bros. Erica JD, Erica. Oh, just Erica JD's just blew out there. Well, I'm acknowledging to you now, dude. What's up, bro? I just read your super chat, man. Maybe you weren't here for it. I literally just read it. Range Day. All right, it's pretty much even. It's about 50-50. So we're going to do, because it's already lined up in my stuff, Range Day Bros video. I don't know if he's in here or not. I told him that I'd be using his video. I messaged him earlier, but if not, whatever, we're going to cover it because it's super cool. He told me about setting this up last week and he finally went out and did it. And yeah, it's dope. So let's, it's actually very interesting. There's some very interesting stuff that happened in this. Where did it go? There we go. And it's not perfect. And he's working on doing another one because it didn't come out perfect, but it did come out pretty cool. He had some interesting stuff. So again, he is testing the shot from the upper back right theory, right? Coming in below the skull and then coming out as an exit wound. So this is what he tested ballistically.
Other little things like the wig that we have is not the same exact hairstyle that Charlie had, and little inconsistencies like that. Now, with that being said, without further ado, let's roll the footage.
Okay, so stop real quick. So he's got the t-shirt on. He's got the wig. He also has the exact same pendant that Charlie had on, right? That blew off. And we all said, how could that have possibly broke if it didn't hit the chain, all that. All right. So just keep that in mind. All of that stuff is being interacted here, and you'll see it here in a second. So you can see the necklace didn't get hit, but still exploded, which is interesting. The t-shirt, I think, is super interesting because the t-shirt billows out just like it was when Charlie got hit. See the necklace blow off. Exact model. Yeah, it's not an exact model. He talks about that.
All right, guys, so we are going to break this down frame by frame. I just wanted to show you the footage in totality so you can see exactly what I was seeing when I first watched this. But the evidence really does get more damning as you watch it frame by frame.
Right,
so we'll start with this frame right here. This is from a GoPro filming at 240 frames.
All right, I've already watched this, and since you guys haven't seen it, I'm going to let you guys watch this as he breaks it down while I go take a little piss real quick. All right.
Per second. Once the bullet impacts, you can immediately see that temporary wound cavity, or cavitation as it's been called, and you could see the bullet pulling the gel out as we saw on 910. That temporary wound cavity then snaps the chain in the back, which is the weakest point. And then you could see the cavity start to go down as you see some flesh fly off. And then you could see the hair react there shortly afterwards. You see the chain snapped. Again, without the upper chest portion of the dummy and without the correct trajectory, we don't have a mirrored result of the chain movement. However, you do have a mirror result still of the head movement down and to the left, as we saw on 910. Now, for those of you wondering, we put the pasty there because, as I've mentioned in past videos, a bullet going into a hairline, an entry wound in a hairline, is going to be extremely hard to see. And even after the shot, I removed the pasty and pulled up the wig to try to attempt to see the bullet hole. And because it's a mesh pattern underneath, I could not even find the bullet hole. It is that small entering, okay? So that is why the pasty is there as well, to give me a point of aim. Now, this side angle is extremely telling here, guys, okay? This cavitation you see from the side angle is what explains the shirt puffing in the back first. So Charlie struck in the back of his hairline first. That expansion blows his shirt up in the back, which is the result of what we saw on camera. And this is the exact explanation for how that happened. Even though the trajectory wasn't 100% correct, you can still see that cavitation happen. You see the chain snap immediately. You see the violent motion of the chain flying up. Again, even with the wrong trajectory, all these things are still happening. Now, in this case, with the ballistic tip bullet we were using, it dumped all of its energy within the first couple of inches in the gel. Again, this gel, that trajectory is only about 4.5 to 5 inches long. And these bullets are designed to dump all of their energy in that short amount of distance and not over penetrate. So the next test, we'll likely be using a different bullet type that would result in the type of exit wound that we saw on 910. However, it doesn't change the fact of the head movement, the chain snapping, so on and so forth, and the cavitation that we saw that would explain the puffing up of Charlie's shirt in the back first. Another thing I want to mention is you also see the dummy kind of pop up as we saw. So that's another piece of information that points to a back right shot. And again, in this case, that Hornady critical duty bullet blew out the spine out of the back of the dummy because the trajectory was off, okay? Once in the shooting position, I had a very good feeling it would not result in the exit wound that we saw because the dummy was almost positioned perpendicular from his vision to where I was shooting from. I knew that the result would not come out here. I had hopes that maybe the spine would deflect it and have it come out the front. However, once I was up there, again, we couldn't move the dummy. So an incomplete test. However, it does prove that the back right shot is most likely based off of these other factors. So you can disregard the spine blowing out because obviously we did not see that on 910. However, we did see the head movement, the hair movement, the chain breaking, and that cavitation as well. So,
all right. So super interesting, right? No. So is the range 130 meters? No. So he talks about it at the start. I'll kind of break it down. So the idea was, yeah. You guys want to see this? We should probably have just showed you from the start because he explains all that. We can go back to it real quick. And so he explains the caliber he uses, how far away he was, and why the angle he used. We like talked about all this before he did it to try to assume, because again, we're not testing. He's not testing the shot from where Tyler Robinson was. He's testing hypothetically where the shot came from. So I'll let him explain. Now that you've seen it, we'll let him explain what he was doing.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to now. Before we get into these for scientific purposes, hopefully you guys will get first access to on YouTube. You can also like, comment the truth, and spread this message. Estimate distances and elevations and angles of the shot, and I'll put all that information down in the description below if you guys are interested in seeing the exact distance and angle that we shot this with, as well as the caliber and all that. You can find that all in the description below. I'll mention some of it as we go, but because of that assumption of the shooter's position, as well as using very vague and generalized numbers from Google Maps and satellite images, I came back with a test that did not react in the exact way that we saw on 910. However, the way that the dummy did react is extremely telling and does point to the back right shot. But it was
all right. So I believe it's using 223 or 556. So not 30-06. And then what's it say here? So 20 degrees shot taken from 7-degree offshoot. So again, the idea was like somewhere up here in the in this area, right? That he's trying to replicate, and then trying to replicate more of a steep angle on it than what you would have seen from the front shot. So yeah, and those dummies are not cheap. That's why it's tough to replicate these things. But to his point, what he's showing there, what you saw was that was with 5.56, right? You saw the damage, the cavitation, you saw the necklace blowout, all the things that we saw happen to Charlie Kirk, plus an exit room, plus the neck being destroyed. That was with a 5.56, guys. That was with, I have one right here, right? That was with this little guy. This little guy did that damage, not this fucker, right? You see the difference in those? That's 5.56, 30-06, right? Massive, massive difference in explosive power, right? Like kinetic energy, all these different things. So if a 5.56 round did just the same cavitation, and we're talking about a way smaller round, way less kinetic energy, caused the same type of effects we saw, imagine what this big old bastard would have done, right? Also, you can't recreate that's perfect. Like anything ballistically, when you're talking about hitting human anatomy to a gel test, like it's not going to be perfect, right? But I did think it was interesting that the chain, the necklace, blows off, even though the necklace isn't hit. Exactly what we saw with the Charlie Kirk thing. So it shows now. Would that have happened from shot from the front? I don't know, maybe, but it's a cool test that he did because he, again, uses the hair, he uses the necklace, and you actually see the cavitation, you see the necklace blow off, you see a lot of similarities that you actually see with Charlie Kirk being shot. And that's not going to, again, it's not going to be perfect because it's a ballistic dummy, but that's the first test I've seen where, somebody has done the back right shot and like actually really tried to get, all of that involved hair, shirts, and you actually saw the puff of the shirt from the front and the back. Not as dramatic as we saw, but again, that could have had something to do with the necklace. I think the dramatic lift of the shirt is what we see from the necklace, like getting yanked up and blown off. But again, it doesn't prove anything, but what it shows is that a shot from the back right, you saw a lot of the similar things that happened to Charlie Kirk in the video, which is interesting, right? It doesn't prove anything, but it's very, very interesting. And it wasn't perfect, like he said. I don't think he was at the right angle, but he's going to retest it here, I think, next week with a couple new dummies. And he's using a full-size dummy on the next one that's going to have a full chest cavity and everything. So I don't know. It's a cool video. Very, very interesting. Make sure I'll put it, let's link it in the description so you guys can go watch it if you want to watch the full video. Because Range Day Bro's a good dude. And you should support his channel because he's doing some good work. So we'll pin that. And yeah, go check his channel out. All right, let's move into, now that we kind of move through ballistics a little bit. Again, nothing proved, but interesting stuff. Let's now get into yeah, so well, this is a great one, right? Like, yeah, and it was the loose necklace too. It wasn't the super tight necklace. So the idea, me and who was it that talked about that? I think me and Ian talked about that. Like the idea of a loose necklace came off. It wouldn't have been from cavitation. That's where it got confusing about like why did the necklace blow off if it wasn't from cavitation? Well, I mean, he literally showed that exact same thing happened with a loose necklace still. So actually kind of cool that actually was replicated in that video. All right, next. Oh boy, we're getting to get into some bizarre stuff here, and it is what it is. All right, let me find what I'm looking for here. All right, so I'm sure you guys have seen. Well, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but it's going viral. It's going very, very viral right now. And that was, again, that Turning Point USA event that JD Vance was at. Well, Erica Kirk was also at, and they had a very bizarre interaction when he was brought up on stage. So let's take a look at that. All right, here we go. And this is just from some lady's video, but she did a good job with it. So we'll use this one.
Holy shit, they are trying to replace Usha Vance with Erica Kirk. Because Erica Kirk and JD Vance is their Christian nationalist wet dream. And you won't convince me otherwise. Because what is this? What is this body language? When did we start putting?
This is not okay. This ain't okay. Like, guys, the fucking hair up the back of the neck, like in the sexual grab of the hair, not okay. This is not how you hug your friend's wife. This is not, and I can tell you, as someone who's hugged dead friends' wives recently after they've been killed, this is not how you hug your dead friend's wife. It's not. I don't care what anybody says. This is fucking inappropriate on both sides. But let's keep moving.
Our hands up in the hair of our friends when we hug. Yeah, no.
Hold on, I got to reset it because I didn't bring it back up on the stage. My bad, guys. We got it now. All right. Here we go.
Shit, they are trying to replace Usha Vance with Erica Kirk. Because Erica Kirk and JD Vance is their Christian nationalist wet dream. And you won't convince me otherwise. Because what is this? What is this body language? When did we start putting our hands up in the hair of our friends when we hug? Yeah, no. You don't. This is weird. Oh, and then there's this one. JD, why are your hands so low?
Not great. Also, the super tight pleather pants. Again, I'm not trying to judge, but ugh.
There's no reason for them to be on her hips, but there they are. But if that's not
but just wait, it gets weirder.
Introducing him at Turning Point.
I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They
a very, very dear friend and his wife. Oh.
They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities.
Stop. I'm going to run this back for you guys. Guys, as my community, and I mean this, I need you all to listen to me. Jasmine, all the people close in the community here. Look at me. Listen to me. If I am assassinated and my wife gets on a stage within 6 weeks and says the words, "No one will ever replace Nate," and then follows that with, "But," Jasmine, everybody, I expect you to handle business as you know needs to be handled. And it's not going to be peaceful. I'm just saying this. Okay? Just throwing it out there. if I get assassinated and those words come out of her mouth, you have my permission to do what you need to do. Okay, let's get back to it. Sorry.
Similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do.
And if you're not convinced yet that they're trying to replace her with Erica Kirk, this is him when asked by a student about him and his wife's difference in like their religious beliefs, and he ends it with this.
Do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way.
He wants her to fall in line. He wants her to be a Christian national.
Okay. I don't know what's happening in the world. Right. But again, like, that was so gross to me. Like, Charlie's supposed, first of all, let's keep in mind, JD and Charlie are supposed to be super close friends. Your husband was assassinated. And again, I've passed, you guys know on my channel, I have passed zero judgment on Erica Kirk ever in any content. I have defended her in all content for 6 weeks straight. Through the bizarreness, I have defended her. This was fucking gross and fucking weird. Does anybody think that that wasn't from start to finish some of the weirdest, bizarre shit you've ever seen? Her husband was just assassinated 6 weeks ago. And she comes on stage with one of his best friends and gives this sexual hug with her hands grabbing up in his hair as he's got his hands on her hips. And then talks about how nobody can replace my husband, but man, I see a lot of similarities in JD Vance. And then he follows that up by bitching about his wife not converting publicly. What a slap in the face to her, by the way. That's your fucking wife, bro. Maybe that's a conversation to have privately, bro. I would never disrespect my wife like that. Multiple times. In public, on a public fucking stage. Disrespected his wife with how he handled that with Erica. Disrespected his wife, bitching about her not converting to his religion publicly. That's not fucking okay. I don't care if you're a JD fan or MAGA or Turning Point fan or not. None of that shit was fucking okay. For me, you might have different morals than me. You might feel differently about how you should treat your wife than me, or how you should act around other women in front of your wife than I do. But that shit would never, ever fucking happen for me. I don't know. We might do a poll. We keep it democratic around here. What's the last poll? Forget what we did. Should TPUSA put out content on Charlie Kirk's channel? 82% no to 18% yes. Another blowout poll on that one. All right, let's do a, was JD and Erica's interaction appropriate? That's it. Was it appropriate? You can't spell appropriate. That's just way too hard of a word to spell. Chat will decide for us. I'm not going to decide on my own. I'm going to let chat decide that one. Let's see what chat had to say. All right, let's get to coming to the end of our scheduled live, which means it's about to start giving away merch. I need to talk to my wife. Brittany. Sorry. Brittany. She's not listening. Brittany. Keeps telling me to hold on. Oh, there's trick-or-treaters out there. That's why. That's what's going on. All right. We're going to do merch giveaways. I know. Got it. Tracking. All right. We're going to do merch giveaways. What do you want to give away? Yeah, we got free shipping over $75. That's outside of that for merch. But what do you want to give away? New tan sweatshirts. We're going to be giving away more than one. Yeah, I had to yell because I got the door closed and she's like outside the room, guys. Oh my God. Come tell the chat that. Come tell the chat.
Always yelling at me. Always.
That's just when I'm in costume, brothers. That's just when I'm just when the Hulk is running wild in the home. That's when I'm yelling. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I know. It's only when I'm drinking that I yell at her, brothers and sisters. Sorry. All right. All right. I'm sorry. All right. Okay, just kidding. All right, let's do some merch giveaways. Why not? All right, let's see. How do I do this? Okay, here we go. We got giveaways next. We're usually pretty good at this. Can you guys see it? Do I have it pulled up? All right, so once we get it going, you guys put VFT in the chat to earn. Yeah, I'll pull that up here. We got it going. We're going to give away some VFT tan hoodies. Why not? And then we'll hang out. We'll read super chats in between. No, not appropriate. I know, guys. Yeah, my poor abused wife. She's got a rough life. Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. Yeah, don't yell at her. No, I know. Guys, like my office is closed and she was across the house. All right. So VFTs, let's hit some super chats as we work our way through this and give away merch. All right. So we'll let everybody get some votes in. Let me get back to where I was. Cup extra chipper. We got that one. Yes, the Judge Elite. Photo in denial. I don't want to miss any. Sorry. I'm just getting back to where I was. He was selling American farmland. Okay. I think we got it. All right, Chandler Roth, JD Vance is selling American farmland to China, maybe more. Oh yeah, we're gonna do a poll in a little bit about if you guys like JD Vance or not. What do we have an appropriate? Surprisingly, 20% said their interaction was appropriate. Okay, I mean 80% said no, right? Which I'm not surprised about. How we doing on our VFTs? All right, looks like we got a lot. All right, we're going to choose a winner. Here we go. You got 5 seconds VFT in the chat if you haven't put it in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. J-Cat's channel. Okay, J-Cat. I need you to message me on Instagram, brother. Let me know. Valhalla VFT on Instagram. Let me know your address, your name, and your size. Okay. Those 3 things, send it to me on Instagram. JCat's channel. Okay. You see yourself? Also, you got to say something so I know you got it. Just say got it. And then you're going to message me. JCat's channel. Let's go. Get it in there so we can get another one going while we read the super chats. Come on, JCat. Can't wait forever. Type it in the chat that you got it. Otherwise, you're going to lose out on your sweatshirt. Come on, brother. All right, you got 10 seconds. He might message us. Anyway, we're going to re-roll regardless. If he does message us, great. If not, we're re-rolling. Here we go. Re-roll. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. Nobody had time. Sorry for that. Oh, that's an actual re-roll. Oh, I don't know what happened. That's not what we meant to do. But Nick Colonial... or Nick Calantoni. Nick, say something in the chat. Okay. Somebody's got to hit it. All right. While we wait for that, we will hit the super chats as we move. All right. Judge said no cameras. That's not exactly what he said. They said they were going to talk to the defense and the prosecution and figure it out. As far as I remember, or as far as I've seen so far, unless there's something brand new that came out, they're still trying to decide that. I know he is considering it. All right, come on, guys. If you're going to win, you got to be ready to fucking say something in the chat so I know that you got it. Super sticker, thank you. We need Learn with Sherlock on the Charlie Kirk case. Look him up. Love the content, bro. We need people like you. Makes me believe in humanity again. Appreciate you, brother. All right, nothing from Nick either. You guys. All right, we're gonna reset this. Reset the giveaway. here we go. All right, VFT's in the chat. We're resetting because nobody's responding. Not doing very well at this. We got that one. All right, moved on real quick. Wild F. Yeah, I don't know, but again, that was just very bizarre interactions, guys. Erica Vance bonded over I haven't seen any couch comments yet. Somebody give me a couch comment. I know some of you guys know what I'm talking about. It's those pleather pants she had on. That's why, you know. If you know, you know. If you don't, you might see some memes eventually. Nate, always remember the goal is NWO, brother. Yeah, the New World Order. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. All right, here we go. We are going to pick a winner. Last 5 seconds. VFT in the chat. Here we go. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow. Doc Holiday. That's a great name. Doc, let me know that you know you're a winner. Say something. And then message me on Instagram, Valhalla VFT. There it is. Got it, brother. Hit us up on Instagram with your name, your address, and your size of sweatshirt, Doc, and we will get it sent out to you. All right. We are going to re-roll this thing again. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And send them. All right. We'll keep hitting super chats as you guys plow those VFTs, and we'll go for the next winner in a minute. All right, Lord Griffin, that was Weimar degeneracy of Erica Kirk and JD. Yeah, I did not like that at all, just like most people didn't. South Park JD Vance is shining right now. Oh my God. Can you imagine that if they don't do an episode regarding that? I know that South Park is 100% setting JD Vance to be the ultimate bad guy with Peter Thiel and everything. I'm sure we've all seen that, but I would not be shocked if they integrated some of that in there. All right. Joe, what's up, brother? I don't know Erica, never met her, but she just saw her husband public unalive brutally. She could be jumping at shadows and wondering who's pulling strings. Yeah, that's a good point too, right? Your husband was just killed. What if you are? So I've thought about that as well. But the stuff we just saw with JD, man, like, come on. Let's just stop doing stuff like that, in my opinion. Like, be a widow in public, in my opinion. Just saying and hoping she is just coping. You can be strong without doing like creepy, gross shit with the vice president in front of people, in my opinion. Shit, I don't know. I was angry you weren't calling her out because I have saw through her since joke at a funeral. I'm still not calling her out, but I'm telling you that what I just saw was not appropriate behavior. You have a beautiful wife? Yes, I do. She is way out of my league, but I punch up, brothers. I punch up, brother. That's how I roll. Thank you very much. BJ Caracoli. Hopefully I said Caracoli. Hopefully I said that right, man. That's a tough one. That's like my last name, Cornacchia. $50. Big banger donation. Thank you much. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate all the donations tonight. I appreciate all you guys showing up week after week at these lives. We're having just thousands and thousands of people show up to listen to me rant. And I appreciate you guys showing up. I love all you guys. And yes, thank you very much. I will keep doing the best I can. All right, Mr. Plight, $20. When are you and Bert going to do a podcast together again? Probably pretty regularly. Me and Brent have been talking about that. Brent's going to be on my live. Brent will be on my live next. And then we would like probably to start like kind of a regular thing. Maybe we can get like a monthly show together if you guys would be interested in that. We got to talk, but he's way busier than I am. Brent is astonishingly more busy than I am. So, all right, let's choose a winner. Hold on, I make sure you guys know I'm not cheating here. I'll pull it back up. Comes another winner. Marius Georgian Shavarin. Well, boom, immediately. This is what I'm talking about, guys. That was like 3 seconds in. All right, Marius, I got you there. Send me a message on Instagram, Valhalla VFT, name, address, size, and we will get it out to you. All right, let's do another one. Why not? We're cooking. All right, VFT's in the chat. Let them roll, and we'll just keep doing it as we work our way through the rest of the super chats. Okay. Oh, we got that one already. Thank you again, Mr. Plight. Vinman. Oh my God, bro. I'm wealthy, not rich, but could afford free VFT. Well, might be able to win. Here's your chance. Thank you. Let's go, brother. Yes, Stuart. Let's go, brothers. Appreciate you, bro. Hulkamania is still running wild. Yeah, we are 2 hours in, and Hulkamania is still running wild on you, brothers. Yeah, buddy. Couch comment. I usually skip these parts. Yeah, we're just wrapping the video up, super chats and giveaways, man. So if you were only here for the Charlie Kirk stuff, you know, we are probably done with that. But we'll be here for a little bit more while we give away. All right, we'll do one more super chat, then we'll do another giveaway choice. Cody Gray, $2, and then Brooke McCarter. Can you share your thoughts on Graham Plattner when appropriate for the stream? We actually, if you would have been on our political live stream last Tuesday, bro, we actually talked about Graham Plattner on that live. Seems like a super stand-up guy. Would love to hear what a vet thinks. Yeah, I don't have his clips pulled up right now, but I can tell you, here's the thing. Marine, 4 combat deployments. He's a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. He's progressive. I'm not progressive. However, all the things he talks about, we showed him on screen. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like his message, right? His whole message is, hey, let's stop sending foreign countries fucking all our money until our own people are taken care of. That's my politics, whether you're right, whether you're left. Anybody who has that, whether you're Nick Fuentes or Anna Kasparian, far left, far right, if America first is your politics, then we would probably get along. And Graham Plattner, to me, seems like a guy who that's his politics. And while we might not agree on everything policy-wise, I do like his message, and he's a veteran. He's a combat veteran. So I would support him. He's a Democrat. I don't care. I would still support him because I'm not, you guys know me. I'm not a guy that's like, oh, well, I'm center right, so I would never support a Democrat. That's not how it works for me. All right, let's choose a winner here. Here we go. And Captain Kirk. What a great name for the stream. Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk won. Maybe that's Charlie from the grave. You know. That's a great winner for today's stream. Captain Kirk. All right, Captain Kirk, let us know that you got that you're tracking. Let me know. Come on, Captain Kirk. We got to get something from you, brother. Before we so we don't have to re-roll. I usually give it a full minute because there's no reason you can't type in the chat within a minute if you're here. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. He's here. I saw him. All right. Let some super chats. We'll give him a second to respond. All right. So we got Catherine, $10. Thank you. Something about her screams, let me use my prowess. I don't trust her, and I've got damn incredible intuition. I see her. She enjoys men's attention. You know, I know a lot of women feel that way about Erica Kirk. I'm not, again, I don't go down that road, but a lot of women have made those same comments. All right, got it, brother. Yep, Valhalla VFT, Instagram. Captain Kirk sent me your name, address, size of sweatshirt. Okay. Probably do one more. I don't know how many sweatshirts. My wife runs all the merchandise, guys. So I don't know how much we got, but we'll do another one though, at least. All right. And throw them in there. All right, Cat super sticker. Thank you, Cat. Appreciate you. Doppelganger. If I didn't have the beard, I had the mustache, but I figured I already got a mustache. Anna Coakley, $2. First wins were FBI. They can't accept gifts. First wins were FBI. They can't accept gifts. FBI can't accept gifts. Military can't accept gifts either. I don't know if any federal people can. Be interesting. Stuart Matthews, $2. I'm done with the pantries at the Point Dem rep. Halo's fan, $5. Can't wait for Kash to run for POTUS. Yeah. Fuck off with that. I know it's a joke, but and Megan as his running mate. Just kidding. Love the channel. Yeah. Oh God. That would be the last person I would ever vote for. All right, we made it through the super chats. We're going to do one final donation. I do have a little bit extra time, so we may get some questions from the viewers about if you guys have topics you want to discuss after this. All right, this is going to be the last winner for the VFTs. Here we go. And choosing a winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow. Is this a real account? 82205 Demolition. 82205 Demolition. Oh, okay. All right. You got it. Let us know. I'm going to give you to the minute mark until we re-roll. Until we re-roll this thing. Going to do it. You don't got to put any more VFTs in yet, guys. If he either responds, if he doesn't. Okay, there he is. All right. All right, no more VFTs in the chat. That is going to be the final giveaway. Okay. We're going to, I got a little bit of time. We can just chat, guys, and talk about whatever subjects you guys want to talk about. Had a little bit of extra time. We started actually an hour earlier than I needed to start, but still got a shit ton of people in here. So if you guys want to talk about topics, you got questions, throw them in. We can bring up whatever. Mr. Polite says, what if unrest from the EBT thing is a way to get more things like flock across the country? I do. Yeah, that's a good one. EBT, right? Shit. Yeah. We got one day, ladies and gentlemen, one day until EBT gets shut off. The EBT, I think, we could probably look up EBT crash out. Like, what was, there were some hilarious ones. Well, it's not hilarious, but there's already tons of people robbing people at the stores, people robbing stealing literally people's grocery carts as they're taking them out to parking lots. Like, the chaos, a little bit of it is already starting, which is not great. I don't know if this is by design or not, but it's starting to feel like this is by design. Because keep in mind, there's $6 billion that they have relief funds for that are directly. Let's break this down, guys. Let's talk about this a little bit. Okay. I know we did a video on this, but let's talk about who's at fault, government shutdown, whatever. Okay. Let's do a poll. Let's figure out who's actually at fault. Okay. Because this is actually an interesting one. Democrats or Republicans. And I just want to see what you guys, I'm not going to give my opinion on it. Other than the video I already did on it, but I want to see what you guys think of who's at fault, Democrats or Republican, or should we do both? Should we have both, Democrats, Republican, both? I don't know. Both is kind of the easy cop out because it should be both, right? But if you had to choose between the two parties in power, who do you think is at fault? Okay. You have to choose one. That's what makes it harder, right? But I know most of us want to say both because fucking politicians suck ass and they both have incentives to do it. But if you had to choose more than the other, who do you guys think is at fault? Okay, we'll talk about this. You've got the Republicans who are in charge of every fucking space of government there is. They're in charge of the executive branch. They're in charge of the legislative. They're in charge of the judicial, right? The presidency, Senate, House. It's a Supreme Court 6-3 advantage, right? They control everything. But then you have the Democrats who are the ones voting no. 13 times, I believe now. 13 times have voted no to reopen the government. Who, and this isn't EBT, let's do just reopening the government first. Who do you guys believe is most responsible? Okay. We'll let that. Let's see. What do we got? Oh my gosh. Wow. This poll is going to be close. Now, this is a good poll, right? Anytime you have almost a 50-50 split, that makes the conversation interesting. Especially for this. All right. We'll give it a little bit longer. Yeah. The question is, who is at fault for the government not being opened back up? The party that has all the power or the party that's voting no to reopen the government? That's your choice. Okay. And we're going to talk about each. Obviously, both is an easy answer, and both would have been the number one answer because this is so deadlocked and tied. Because if it's 47-53, then it's fucking both of these people. Both of these sides are at fault. But it's much more interesting to make you guys force a choice. Okay, so here we go. We got a 54-60 or a 53-47 split. So it's very, very close. I'll give my opinions on this. Obviously, I think both sides fucking suck and they're both responsible for this. If the Democrats wanted the government open, it would be open today. That's the truth. They could vote yes. However, there's some legitimate reasons for why they're voting no. And it's not because illegal aliens are going to get $1.5 trillion in medical insurance. That's not it. That's not true. Okay. I know that Republicans are saying that because it's politically beneficial. That's not true. What's going to happen is, I believe, 10, 20 million Americans are basically going to get raped from their insurance and have their premiums doubled or tripled. It's going to be pretty ugly. So they do kind of have a point, a little bit. However, is this the time for Democrats to withhold food from fucking children and pay from service members because they have a specific thing they want voted through? For me, no, this is not the time to do this. However, Republicans have all the power in the world to open this government. Don't let them fucking fool you for a second. Trump came out and said it. Trump just came out and said to the Republicans, use the nuclear option. Do it. Trump said that yesterday. He told them to use the nuclear option, reopen the fucking government. So that obviously brings up a lot of the nuclear option. Essentially would make it so only 50 votes are needed, right? There's a lot of downwind effects to that could cause a lot of problems. It ends the filibuster. It's not a great choice necessarily, because the idea is if the Republicans use the nuclear option to reopen the government, then Democrats will use it in the future to do XYZ. I would say this. Democrats are going to use it in the future regardless. Whether the Republicans use it for this or not, that's not a fucking excuse. So I also know that the second the government opens back up, they're going to vote on the Epstein files, which Republicans are voting no on releasing. So Republicans also do not want the government open. Democrats don't want it open. Republicans don't want it open. This is where both was the right answer. You guys, there's no more VFTs in the chat. We're not doing any more giveaways. So realistically, what we're seeing is two political parties who each think they're getting political leverage over the other by fucking the American people. That's what this is. They're yeah, that's a great question. Blackmail tug of war. They are blackmailing, both sides are blackmailing the American people for political leverage. Both sides. And that's not okay. Our service members not being paid, GS employees not being paid, federal workers not being paid, EBT benefits not going out. Not okay. And what is it going to cause? Do you guys really think there's not going to be civil unrest if you cut off fucking food from the most impoverished Americans? 42 million Americans no longer have money for food. 42 million. 1 in 6. Think about this, guys. 1 in 6 people will no longer have money for food. Because they still have to pay their fucking rent. They still have to pay their car insurance. They still have to pay all these bills. That's why they have EBT. Now, again, don't get me wrong. There is a ton of people who are taking advantage of the system. We've all seen it. We've all seen fucking Shaniqua and her 13 fucking kids and her 19 baby daddies. Okay. We get it. That's a part of this. I'm not going to say it's not. However, 15 million kids, the majority of recipients of social welfare are children and the elderly. So just because some people take advantage of the system, do we want to cut off EBT SNAP benefits to 15 million children? I don't support that at all. But food banks are there for a reason. Brittany, you think 42 million people, you think 42 million people are about to get fed by food banks? 42 million people? How many food banks do you think there are? 1 in 6 people in your city are no longer going to have money for food? And you think food banks are going to handle that? I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just asking. That's several in your area? Okay. Yeah, okay. If 42 million people are going to get fed by food banks, I love your optimism, but that's fucking bullshit and it'll never happen. 42 million people are not going to be fed by food banks. So what's going to happen is people are going to start looting stores. And this will be it'll be inner cities first, right? It's going to be Chicago, Houston. It's going to be all those type of cities first where people are going to start looting. We've seen it. We've already seen it before. That's going to happen. And then what's going to happen? Now we're just talking about like month 1. We're talking about day 1. If the government, like Mike Johnson's saying, the government's going to be shut down until January. What do you think is going to happen if these 42 million Americans aren't receiving SNAP benefits for months and months and months? You think there's not going to be civil unrest from that, guys? You think people are just going to I'm just going to sit in my house and starve to death and not do anything about it? That's not how people react when they're hungry. It's going to get, I promise you, I hope the government gets reopened and we don't have to worry about this. There you go. It's already started in Detroit. Yeah, it's already started. They're already preluding in a lot of places. It's going to start with, the usual suspects, right? People that are taking advantage of the system. They're there to loot. That's how it'll start. And at some point, they'll rob the food banks too. Yeah, at some point, after months and months of people not having money for food, how about get a job? The vast majority of people on food stamps do have a job, brother. I love you, but that is not how this whole thing works at all. Huge misconception there. And the ones who don't have a job, the majority of those are children or elderly or disabled people. They'll try to tell you that, it's the majority of these people are just living off the system. A lot of them are, for sure. But the 15 million children are not. They don't get to control who their parents are. And it's one of those things that, again, I had a teacher for a mom, and we would hear all the time, a lot of those kids, the low-income kids, a lot of times the only meals they got was when they were at school. And that's what's going to happen to this. The only meal some of these kids are going to get is lunch at school. And they're not going to eat. If you are okay with that for American children, okay, that's on you. It's your opinion. But again, I'll hold this stance. You guys, most of you already know it, but I'll hold this stance firmly that I would rather Shaniqua, right, gets her fucking EBT because she's a lazy piece of shit, so that underprivileged and hungry kids can still have food. That's me in America. I don't know how you guys feel about that, right? But I'm talking about my tax dollars, my personal tax dollars. Where would I rather them go? Would I rather my personal tax dollars? I pay a fuck ton of taxes. I will tell you guys this. A lot of fucking money in taxes. Where would I prefer they go? to Israel or to hungry fucking American families, even if it is Shaquanda. To be honest, my tax dollars, I would rather it goes to the needy in America. Me personally. Because as long as we're sending fucking money to Ukraine and Israel and Egypt and Argentina and every other fucking country in the world, but we don't have money for American children to eat, nah, dog. Nah. That ain't it. That ain't it, brother. Not for me, man. And I would just say, you know, I see a lot of this, and you guys have too. There's so many people, and most of it's on the right, which is what really bugs me because it's supposed to be the Christian right. Affluent people who are get off your fucking lazy asses and work. I shouldn't have to fucking pay taxes to support you. Right? These people are fucking lazy. Very unchristian of you to begin with, but also you've probably never been hungry before in your life. Probably never been a hungry kid before. But you know, I don't understand. I don't personally understand that outlook in America. We're talking about Americans, like American elderly, American kids. We're not talking about, as long as we have fucking, how much money are we giving Israel a day? You guys know? What is it? Something like 20 to $50 million a day. How much money? Let's see if ChatGPT probably won't answer this question, to be honest, but I'll check. How much money does the U.S. give Israel every day? I almost guarantee it won't answer this question. That's the way ChatGPT goes. Oh, okay, there we go. No, it did. We give Israel $10.4 million, and this is outside of their military budget. This isn't the military budget for Gaza. This is just direct U.S. aid. It's 10x. It's 10x this for the Gaza war, by the way. We give Israel, just through U.S. aid, $3.8 billion a year. $10.4 million a day. And that's not we've spent almost 40 billion on the war in Gaza. Well, what would $40 billion do? Oh, that would have paid for SNAP benefits for almost a year. Just that by itself. That's just them. That's not Argentina. That's not Ukraine. We continue to fund their military. Egypt. Fucking everyone. It's just so to my point with that, guys. Government shutdown. You cannot convince me that either of these fucking parties give a shit about the American people. Because tomorrow, guys, this is tomorrow. You guys realize this? The November 1st is tomorrow. Yeah, somebody just said 5% of SNAP benefits are active duty military. Yes, they are. Active duty military. Think about this. Think about all the active duty soldiers who are going to not get paid, who already can't afford food because the pay is so shitty for soldiers, especially lower enlisted, that they're also not going to get their SNAP benefits. And so you know what they're going to do? You know what all these people are going to do in America? The ones that don't want to loot. What do you guys think they're going to do to buy food and pay their bills? They're going to use what? Who puts it in the chat? What are all these people going to do when they don't have money? Loans, credit cards, borrow, payday loans, credit card loans with fucking 30% APRs. So they're going to go into debt, which they won't be able to pay back, which is going to destroy their credit. And it's going to create the cycle that keeps them impoverished. Yeah, that's what's going to happen to the ones that aren't going to loot and steal and rob and run on grocery stores. The people that just are trying to raise families and not get caught and go to prison, they're going to go into massive credit card debt. And do you think the government, when it reopens, do you think the government's going to cancel credit card debt? Is it going to put a cap on credit card APRs? Are we going to cap fucking Visa's APRs at 8% instead of fucking 24 to 30%? You think that's going to happen? Bet you it won't. Bet you the government won't do fuck all to help the people that go into debt because of this. But you know what they will do? I guarantee you they will bail the fuck out of every corporation that's going to get hit by this, because there's going to be Walmart is going to get hit by this. Amazon going to get hit by this. Think about Walmart. Think about how many people shop at Walmart with EBT. Walmart's going to take massive revenue hits from this. And I can guarantee you they are going to get massive tax write-offs because of this. Just wait. Just wait. I promise you will hear the news before January that Walmart gets a massive tax write-off because of the revenue hit they took due to EBT turning off. I could almost fucking promise you that's going to happen. We'll wait and see, but I can fucking almost guarantee it. Local grocery stores. What do you think is going to happen with your local small business grocery store that gets 30 to 40% of its revenue from EBT? This is what people don't realize with EBT. Yes, it's a social welfare program, and I know as a conservative, I'm supposed to hate every social welfare program that exists. Okay, I get it as a fiscal conservative, which I'm becoming less and less of as I get older. But EBT actually is a GDP positive net factor, which that means is for every $1 that EBT is given out, it actually produces $1.8 in GDP growth. So yes, we are taxed on it. And it goes to the low-income people out there, and then they use it in your local communities, and they spend it at your small businesses in your communities, which produces GDP and boosts the local economies. Which is also what makes it bizarre to me of why Donald Trump is not stepping in to make sure this doesn't happen, because this is going to fucking gut the economy. The longer this goes, the American economy is already fucking horrible. And our next politics stream on Tuesday is going to have a huge section on the economy and essentially the stock market, which is just being artificially propped up by 6 companies right now, just trading trillions of dollars and back and forth. Going liberal? Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about like 1990s liberal, I think that's probably where I'm at. Just because I'm just so fucking sick of all my tax dollars going to foreign countries, which is that's Republican conservatism right now. Tax the fuck out of the American people and give it to all the other countries. I don't know how we got there as the conservative party, Republican party, but that's MAGA. Like, you guys understand that, right? So let's see if we got how many. Let's do a poll. See how many MAGA we got. Because I don't think MAGA really realizes what their own party is anymore. MAGA. Let's see. How do I want to phrase this? Or are you MAGA? Yes. Let's do that. Yes or no for the chat. And this isn't a hit on anybody. I just don't think that. I don't think that MAGA realizes what their party is policy wise. I think I hope you're paying attention if you realize by now. And again, not a hit on MAGA. But yeah, America First is not. Let's break this down though first. America First is not fucking MAGA. Those are 2 completely different subsets of conservatism. Although MAGA is not conservative. Don't get me wrong. I shouldn't say that. 2 completely subsets of Republican. Okay, MAGA is not conservative at all. There's nothing about current MAGA that is conservative in any way. It's not fiscally conservative, right? We just added another, $2 trillion to the debt in fucking 2 months under Trump. Like there's no fiscal conservatism on MAGA now. There's not on the left either. But I'm not sure MAGA really understands what their actual politics are now, policy wise, because the leader of MAGA is obviously Trump. But it's not America First. That's a completely different subset. So it looks like the poll saying about 80% say no, they are not MAGA. 20% say yes. So again, we're not here to bash on MAGA. We're not here to bash on the left. I'm just here to tell you, as MAGA, you are not the party of America First. You are the party of America Fifth. By policy. Right? You're not fiscally conservative at all. That's not part of the policy. The debt ceiling has skyrocketed under Trump. Skyrocketed. 38 trillion now. And so, it's not the economy. The economy's not good. The economy's not getting better under MAGA. MAGA is the new neocon party. You guys understand that? Neocons, the rhinos. Lindsey Graham. Let's talk about who's Trump supporting. Who did he just endorse? Lindsey Graham. Randy Fine. Marco Rubio. J.D. Vance. These are Mitch McConnell. These are all rhinos. This is the neocon party. I want you to understand, those of you who were MAGA in 2016, drain the swamp. Anti-neocons. MAGA is the neocon party now. That's all MAGA is. It's just the new rhino neocons. That's by policy. You may not feel that way as a pro-Trump guy or gal. That is the MAGA policy. The MAGA policy is the new neocon policy. Foreign interventionism, bombing the shit out of Iran, getting ready to invade Venezuela. Right? Have we not? Lindsey Graham being endorsed by Trump, talking about how we're getting ready to bomb Venezuela. Do you guys see this? This is the neocon party from 2016 that Trump hated, supposedly. That's the party now. And then you have the new, or not new, it's really sort of the exodus from MAGA and the exodus from the Republican Party into the America First movement. You have your Massies, even Marjorie Taylor Greene. There's not a whole lot more in politics itself, right? That's where the conservative party is breaking. So that's where I broke out of, because I'm America First. I'm a conservative. And MAGA does not represent that. I wish it would. Right, guys? I'm sure a lot of you wish it would. But again, you can't convince me when Donald Trump is endorsing Lindsey Graham, Randy Fine, and trying to primary Thomas Massey that MAGA is America First, right? It's sad. It's sad to see. You got betrayed. Yeah, Lady Lindsay. Yeah. MAGA got betrayed, right? And I know it's hard. Again, I was a guy who was supporting Trump before this election. I didn't vote for him because I still was like, but I wanted Trump to win, or I preferred Trump to win, and I was hoping that he was going to run his policy as America First, and I would have supported him. I would have, and I still will if he changed. He won't change though. But it's all, this is what it's all about. We all know that, guys. Nobody's fooling anybody. All right, I might have missed some super chats on my rant there. What did we get on our poll here? Yeah, 80%, 20%. And again, there's no knocking MAGA. I'm not knocking Democrats. I just think if you're going to be MAGA and you're going to be a Trump supporter, you need to be understanding of what you're supporting policy-wise, and you need to, think critically rather than just go, this is the team I'm on because I supported this, which is called sunken cost fallacy. Like you guys, I don't know if all you guys understand sunken cost fallacy, right? It's an investment theory in sunken cost fallacy where if you invest a ton into something, a project, a political party, a relationship. Sunken cost fallacy is abusive relationships can be this way, where I've invested so much time, effort. I've argued with my friends. I've been a part of the pro-Trump movement. Everything Trump did is good, right? When you've done that for a long, long time, and it could be the same way on the left, right? Let's say you could have sunken cost fallacy on the left, where you're a liberal, like people like Bill Maher are people that have broken out of that sunken cost fallacy that have said the left is fucking insane, which they are. Don't let me beat it too much on the right. The left is fucking insane. The far left. People like Bill Maher have realized, I invested all this into the left. Now I realize they're fucking crazy, but I got to admit I'm wrong and move back to center. The sunken cost fallacy for the right and for MAGA right now, and this was even people like me for a while, is, okay, I've supported Trump. I voted for Trump. I've talked shit to my friends and my families, and I've ruined relationships over it. That tribalism sense of things. And then 10 months later, you're looking around going, I don't really support the war in Gaza. And you're looking around going, I thought he was going to end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. And you're looking around going, why did we send $40 billion to Ukraine? So we could fuck our ranchers and agriculture? And you're looking around going, I thought grocery prices and gas prices were supposed to go down. And you're looking around going, I thought the Epstein files were supposed to be released. Right? Right? And you're looking around, and a lot of MAGA are looking around going like, oh. And I was too, except I broke out of it early. And it's just that break point where you have to make the decision for yourself to do this. And this is the hardest thing for human beings to do, guys. It is the hardest thing for a human being to do in that sunken cost fallacy. I've invested so much into this, to go, you know what? And to say to your friends, to your family, to people that told you were wrong, I was wrong. I was wrong. That is really, really hard to do as a human being. And I get it. But if you are America first, you can do it. And you can be very willing to move back to the right when the right starts being America fucking first again. Nick Fuentes talked about that. Okay, if the Conservative Party moves back towards America first, we'll jump back into it. And I agree with that. But until then, I'll tell you this. The worst possible thing you can do is support your political party when they are going against your interests simply because of tribalism. You can't. That's just such a low IQ, low critical thinking thing to do. You vote for someone who tells you they are going to do XYZ. They do the opposite of XYZ, and you continue to simp for them as they shit in your fucking mouth. Please, sir, can I have another? Whether you're left or right, that is the worst possible thing you can do politically, in my opinion. Anyway, a little bit of a rant from there. And again, I'm not trying to beat up one side or the other. I'm trying to get as many people as possible to wake up and see that it is about America in 2025, guys. America. America first. America only. And when I say only, not isolationist, says no more fucking money to anyone else until there's no more homeless veterans, until there's no more hungry fucking children. Not a single dollar to Israel. Not a single dollar to Ukraine. Not a single dollar to Canada, to Argentina, to Mexico, to Egypt. None until America's problems are solved. That's where I'm at. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to my TED Talk in my Hulk Hogan outfit. All right. We're going to hit some super chats and then we'll wrap this one up. Surprisingly, people stayed around for that rant. But total isolationism, we can't do this necessarily, right? I don't mind alliances and strong alliances militarily and things like that. But think about this. Think about how many countries are allies. Think about China, Russia, allies. Is China just sending billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to their allies just because they're allies? No. Are people sending America billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars just because we're allies with them? No. You can have strong ties and a good trade networks and formal alliances and military alliances without sending fucking billions of dollars to everywhere in the world, right? That's my point with America First, America Only. No more money to anybody else. All right. Here we go. Last ones. Thoughts on Andrew Lucky getting the $22 billion contract to develop the new AR helmets, goggles for our military? How beneficial do you think that technology will be for our troops in combat? From South Carolina, bro. Yeah, I did see his new. I'd have to use it to know how good this actually is. The problem with like this full digital outlook thing and like this VR while we're kind of in the real world, as I've seen. I don't know. How much technology is too much technology? I'd have to use it to see. I've seen the videos of it and it does look cool, but like, is it better than just me having night vision with situational awareness of what's going on around me? Do I really need that? Maybe not. But again, I'd have to actually use it to know, man. I do think it's very interesting though. If you guys haven't seen it, this super high level new technology with kind of Call of Duty-esque when it comes to it. I think he was on Joe Rogan's podcast with it earlier, but yeah. Okay, I grow sick and tired of both parties playing games of chicken with America. Just saying, Joe, I agree with you, man. Like you're playing chicken with fucking hungry kids, fucking bellies, dude. Like that's some Stalin shit, man. Stop. Like think about this. We elect these representatives to fucking go and make agreements. And I don't know, if you can't figure it out, you debate and come to an agreement, not just go, neither side will budge. Fuck off, American people. That's not what we elect you for. We elect you to go and figure these things out. That's your fucking job. Although they're not at work. So anyway, call me Sarge. Dems aren't trying to pay 1.5 to illegal aliens. No. I know that Republicans like to say that, but that is not what the $1.5 trillion goes to. Now, some of it may, but again, it's the way it works is, as far as I understand it, is not through funding healthcare. There is, keep in mind, yes, through hospitals. Anybody comes into a hospital has to be treated. Is there a financial cost to illegals in healthcare? Yes, which I have no support of whatsoever. I'm not a support of, and this is where I get super far right, is I am super based when it comes to illegal immigration. Get them the fuck out. You came here illegally. I have no sympathy for you. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the American people when it comes to opening up the government. And a ton of American people are going to have their health care premiums doubled and tripled because of what's going to happen. That's what Democrats are really bitching about. Not that I agree that that's worth shutting the government over. I don't. You should be able to come to that agreement outside of that. But that's a little bit of sort of hyperbole from the Republican Party. That's not really completely true. Much like Mike Johnson saying that he's been working his ass off and he can't sleep when he's been at work for 12 days out of the last 90. Kind of that type of thing. Patriot, $20. I'm sick of seeing my tax dollars go to other countries. Yes, aren't we all? Aren't we all? Like every time you look at your paycheck and they take out 20 to 40% of it and it goes to foreign countries, aren't you fucking sick of that? Some people aren't. Talmu Tatum isn't. Benny Johnson isn't. Megyn Kelly isn't. They fucking love it. They love every fucking minute of that. Dinesh fucking loves it. Right? Get that money over there. Get that money to Israel. Fucking $30 billion to Israel right now. Get it over there. Not me. I'd rather go to Americans and American infrastructure and poverty and all these different things, right? There's tons of great use for our taxes. If you're gonna tax me, I'd prefer you just not fucking tax me as much as you tax me. But if you're going to tax me, use it on American citizens and American infrastructure, please. Thank you. Money is laundered through foreign aid. That's why. Yep, that's definitely true. 100% true on that. And that's a lot of quid pro quo that goes on with that, with foreign leaders as well. Kirk, $10. Every incumbent needs to be primaried and turned out of office this coming midterm. Get these bums. It's time to end our dependence on fossil fuels. You're never going to end your dependence on fossil fuels, Kirk, because it's not just oil and gasoline. Fossil fuels are used for literally everything, the creation of almost everything in American society. So we won't be able to do that. However, I do agree with you. Incumbency, I don't know. We need term limits. Senate should be 2 terms. Maybe give House of Representatives 2 years each. Maybe you get 5, 10 years max, and you're the fuck out of government. So I think 12 years for senators, 10 years for House, and get them the fuck out. Like these, like Chuck Schumer. How long has Chuck Schumer been in office for? 40 fucking something years? Nah, dog. Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein. She's in a goddamn wheelchair. Is she even alive anymore? Or is she just a corpse that they just auto pen for her? Yeah, like get them out. Get them out. Do you feel this may be a crucial turning point in American history that we are living through? I do think so right now. I would have said no over the last 10 years. There's been such dramatic shifts in things like support for Israel and different things like that, like support for any foreign country, that we do have a huge shift towards nationalism, and it's going to have massive downwind effects on politics. And I think you're going to see that in the upcoming elections. I think you see a lot of shitheads like Ted Cruz who are not going to win their next elections 4 years from now because they think they can just do this pro-Israel grift, and they're going to find out the hard way in their upcoming elections that the entire country has shifted. So I do think there's a big shift, and I think a lot of politicians are going to get blindsided by it. I hope. Welcome to the fourth turning. Maybe. Boo Radley, that SNAP money goes to big corporations, mostly not small businesses. End all SNAP. Darwin knew what he was doing. Yeah, man. Good luck. I hope you are super tactically proficient and you got a gun and you can stop people from fucking kicking the door into your house if that happens, which you probably won't be able to, homie. When like 9 fucking thugs roll into your house and kill you and your family and take all your food because they don't have any. So, you know, second and third order effects of third world countries that you don't know because you've never lived in a third world country and you don't think about. However, I've spent a lot of fucking time in third world countries, so I know how it operates. So you can think that's a great thing until it's not. But again, that's one of those American outlooks of like, you know, pull everything up by your bootstraps. But yeah, just saying, you're probably not as tough as you think you are when it comes to that type of third world situation. Joe Saunders, okay, NAGA is just the Tea Party with a rebranding. I think you meant MAGA, Joe. No, MAGA is not the Tea Party with a rebranding. MAGA is the neocons with a rebranding. The Tea Party actually had a decent chance of being America First and then got infiltrated by MAGA and turned it into what it is now, which is, again, just the neocon pro-Israel movement. Yeah, but I that's probably what you meant. Teddy Roosevelt, $10. I worked with the PA House of Representatives when all this started, stopped working for the party when I couldn't recognize it anymore. Hope we can take our party back. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think it's on the way, man. I do. Yeah, somebody said make Argentina great again. I do think it's on the way, man. The tide has shifted. And again, I tell you guys, like, I used to be, this is embarrassing to say. If you went back to 2016, I was a huge Ted Cruz supporter. I love Ben Shapiro. I was that guy. I was in that camp. Don't let me fool you. I was, and again, like active duty at the time, you know, we got to fight the war on terror, bring down Islam. Like, I was that guy. Israel is the best. I was that guy. I was. And I bet there's a lot of you in the chat who are going, yeah, I was too. I was too. I bet there's so many of you in the chat that are going, fuck, that was me too. And look where we're at in 2025. There's just been such a massive shift of people like us that have been like, and you're just paying attention. And guys, you're just paying attention. You're critical thinkers that are paying attention and you're looking at the world objectively and you go, hey, I don't really like genocide, so I'm not going to support that. Right? It's not that crazy. It's like that's actually pretty normal. And the right and the left is doing that in a lot of ways, right? You know? And but you can correct. The best thing you can do is to just, like I said, admit you were wrong and say, hey, I want to look at the world differently now, right? So anyway, but to the point, I was one of those guys, dude. I used to love Mark Levin, guys. I watched Mark Levin and thought that dude, everything he said was gospel. Now I watch that dude and he makes me want to fucking vomit into my hands while I'm sitting. Like every time he talks, like Team America, you know, when he vomits constantly for like a minute straight. That's like me every time I listen to Mark Levin, right? But that's where I started, right? So, and there's nothing wrong with that, guys. If you can transition, you know what I mean? All hail Nicholas J. Fuentes, America First, F Israel. Yeah, I mean, I think people think that's crazy. I was just talking to some guys earlier. He's going to go mainstream. He's going to tone his rhetoric down, and I think Nick Fuentes has a legitimate chance to be in 12 years. I think he has a legitimate chance to run for high-level office, potentially president. I think and I know people are going to be like, "Oh, that's terrible." I don't agree with a lot of things he says, but I think he's got the charismaticness for it. He ain't getting stopped. Nothing's stopping him. It's going to be interesting. Super sticker, thank you. Neocon people heavily invested in defense stocks. Yeah. New here, do you like CK and what he spoke? Charlie Kirk? I liked a lot of what Charlie Kirk said and a lot of what he didn't. And I didn't like a lot of what he said. I agreed with a lot of Charlie Kirk stuff. And there was stuff I didn't agree with. Just like everybody. But I did, I wasn't like a huge Turning Point USA browbeater fan. If like, I like where Charlie Kirk was getting to, right? He was starting to criticize our greatest ally. He was starting to do those things. I think he was starting to move. He was in the shift in the right direction. It's interesting that as he was shifting in the right direction, he got smoked. So I'm sure there's no coincidence with that, but I did like more and more of what Charlie was saying over the last 4 to 6 months. So, but yeah, we're at. Let's talk about the New World Order implemented by the World Economic Forum. New World Order. I mean, what's going on with that, Jasmine? Didn't Klaus Schwab step down? You guys know who's in charge of the WEF now? The WEF is like the fucking, like, to Jasmine's point, the worst, right? They want us eating bugs. No way, Larry Finks. Is this true? No. You guys, did I miss this? That can't be true. There is no fucking way they made Larry Fink the head of the WEF. Is this true, guys? Somebody chat, confirm this. It's Larry Fink. It's Larry Fink. It's Larry. Oh, he's still active. It's Larry Fink. It's Fink. Oh my God. I didn't realize that. I knew Schwab stepped down. Oh, that's even worse. That's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. Oh my God, dude. Oh, fuck, dude. Oh, we're fucked. We're cooked, chat. We're cooked. Oh, dude, chat. We're so cooked if that's true. I'm not surprised. No, I'm not surprised. It makes absolute perfect sense. It does make absolute perfect sense. But yeah. Oh my God. We are so cooked. We're fucking cooked, boys. Oh, yeah, Jasmine. That was good question because I didn't realize that. I hadn't seen that, and that's not good. That's really fucking bad. We do not need the fucking CEO of BlackRock in charge of the WEF. Oh, fuck. We're cooked, boys. We're cooked. Okay. That's disappointing to hear tonight before we take off here. But yeah, I mean, to your guys' point, I know a lot of you said you shouldn't be shocked, and you're absolutely right. Cody Stout, I completely stopped watching Speak the Truth. Talmud Tatum, a lot of influencers over Gaza war. Kirk, Argentina, completely behind Massey and MTG. Look, man, I'm friends with Matt. I think Matt's a really good dude. I don't agree with him at all politically. It is what it is. But to my point is, I can be friends with somebody and not agree with them politically. I don't think he's going to shift. I wouldn't expect it. And that's fine. You know what I mean? They can continue, all those guys can continue down the pro-Israel route, and we'll see where they're at in 18 months. That's all I'll say. I think the vast majority of those channels will be completely dead in 18 months, and nobody will be watching them if they continue down this like super hardcore, like pro-Israel grift that no one supports. I just think that's the way it is. I think the world is moving in that direction, and there's a lot of people that are hanging on for dear life. But Matt's a good dude. Here's the thing about Matt though. Matt can be very objective about it, man. Matt's not a fucking Talmud Tatum. Like, I've seen Matt and I've talked to Matt. We've talked about this stuff. Matt can be objective about this. He's not like fucking Talmud Tatum. That's just like, whatever Trump says to me, that's what I'm going to do. Right? Like, just stuff that orange cock down my throat. That's what Talmud Tatum says. Matt actually uses his brain and looks at it objectively, and he has a different perspective on things than I do. But he's a really fucking smart dude, unlike Talmud Tatum. So I don't know how many times I need to say that, but we'll just keep drilling that into the things. But no, Matt's a great dude. Matt's a friend of mine. Cora K, $10. Nate, your source from Utah lied about the second guy they arrested. He wasn't someone who was caught with a gun in his back window in Provo. I have his name as Navy spent in time in the Middle East. No, there's pictures. He literally sent me pictures of them arresting the old man with the pellet rifle in the back of his rifle. Like, literally sent me the text of the pictures as they were apprehending him. So I think you may be wrong on that one, Cora, or we're thinking about two different things, which may be the case on that. Probably more likely that. But who knows? All right, get rid of fossil fools, not fuels. Yeah, you're not getting rid of fossil fuels, guys. Literally everything is made from fossil fuels. Everything. Serious question: if you consider milk a broth, would cereal be considered a soup? I love milk, dude. I love milk. Do you guys like milk? Most people don't like milk. Most adults don't like milk. Our family drinks. We have like two gallons of milk in the fridge at all times because we go through it so fast. My wife doesn't drink it, but me and the kids love it. Terrell LaCour with a big $50 dono. Thank you, brother. Super, super generous of you. I started with MAGA like a 10-year-old boys with dreams. Wait, let me read it. I started with MAGA like a 10-year-old boys with dreams of cotton candy. Now I'm walking around with my chest out like Gypsy Crusader. Fuck booth. All right, so here's the thing, man. There's levels to this game, right? So those of you who think Nick Fuentes is out there, if you don't know who Gypsy Crusader is, there's levels to the right. Gypsy Crusader is way past Gypsy Crusader and women propaganda. If yeah, we'll just say that. They're far right. But yeah, it's funny. Start as MAGA, and now you're following Gypsy. Woof. That's a transition. But a lot of people are doing it, especially young men. Young men are headed that way in a hurry, which is wild. You guys know it's crazy. Gen Z men. This is so crazy, man. Like 2-3 years ago, all we talked about was how pathetic Gen Z was and how pathetic Gen Z men were, and they're so soft. The back half of Gen Z men, guys, are the most fucking based, far-right demographic in society. Gen Z is turning into like the potential savior of fucking humanity, which to me is wild. This is not where we were 3 years ago with Gen Z. And Gen Z is just absolutely, Gen Z men are absolutely getting insanely based. And what is it from? Charlie Kirk, Nick Fuentes. There's a lot of, kind of makes sense that there's a lot of that's just dragging Gen Z men to the right, which is very, very very new because typically young people are super far left. It's one of the first generations where the young men are super far right, which is interesting. Very, very interesting politically. Typically don't see that. Austin, $2. Thank you. Nikki, wasn't a fan of Clinton, but that was the last time the budget was balanced. Really? Yeah. So you guys know, if Bill Clinton, policy-wise, if Bill Clinton was president in 2025, he would be exponentially further right than Donald Trump, policy-wise. You guys know that, right? Everybody understand that? Bill Clinton is so much further to the right than Donald Trump is, policy-wise. 90s Bill Clinton balanced the budget, was a war hawk. Like, times have changed. 1990s liberals are further right than MAGA is, which is, it's just wild how things have changed. And then the left is obviously a million miles to the left of Bill Clinton. Like, you could not recognize, the left could not recognize a fucking thing about Bill Clinton's policies at this point in 2025, which is pretty crazy. But to your point, yeah. Boo Radley, $10. I wasn't implying that people who physically can't work should not get SNAP. If 9 thugs aren't able to get a job, the probability won't organize and show up at my house. Not in favor of civil war. How do you delineate between the two? Boo. People that can't work, like, what about their kids? There's a bunch of piece of shit parents out there that could work or do work, and they don't make a whole lot of money, and their kids are the recipients of SNAP. Should we punish the kids because the parents are shitheads? I'm not disagreeing with you that there aren't a bunch of shitheads that take advantage of the system. I'm just saying kids are innocent. American children are innocent, regardless of how fucking piece of shit their parents are. And that's why I don't mind my tax dollars going to SNAP. Even if, again, Shaniqua and Shaquanda with their 14 kids taking advantage of the system, whatever to me. As long as the other 15 million American children are getting taken care of. Somebody said, my kids are assholes? Where's that? Yeah, I think that's what somebody said. Yeah. Well, Kenny, that might be due to your parenting, brother. I don't know, maybe. I mean, kids can be little shitheads, but you know what I mean. All right, we're getting to the end, and then I gotta jet out of here pretty soon to go to the football game. All right, Cora said, yeah, the photos are taken outside his apartment on the street. He was in line to ask Kirk a question. No. The guy I'm talking about that was arrested in downtown Provo. He was in line to ask Kirk a question. Many articles written about him. Zachariah Qureshi. He looks old in those pics. He's 25-ish. Yeah, that's somebody. We're talking about two completely different people. The guy I'm talking about was an old man in downtown Provo that was arrested with a pellet rifle in the back of his truck. So we're just talking about two different people. So Gen Zyklon, Gen Zyklon is based. Yeah, they actually are. I know. I've got one. I've got one on the very break point of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and all his buddies that come over. Nah, dog. They ain't. Yeah, no more super chats. I got to get out of here. They ain't non-based. I can tell y'all, homies. I've got one. I've got a 15-year-old. They're all leaning in one direction pretty hard. Nate, love your videos, man. Charlie Kirk stated in an interview that he specifically used Israelis as security force. Have you seen this? Yeah. So that was from a Bill Maher interview. What he said was they were talking about using bodyguards, and he said, Israelis, have you thought about the Israelis? They're really good, yada, yada, yada. As far as I understand it, Charlie Kirk was using a security team. I don't remember the name of it. We're definitely going to have people in the chat that know the names of it. Up until 2022, Schaefer Group. There it is, right? Boom. Thank you, Sarge. So he was using the Schaefer Group up until 2022. And then he independently hired on a security team after using Schaefer's group and after 2022. I've tried to reach out to people that know Turning Point to figure out, like, is that true? Like, were they Israeli? Who are these people? I haven't. The people I've talked to who even do know people at Turning Point USA are like, we don't really know if it is or not, because Charlie apparently hired individuals to bring on as his own security team rather than using a contracted security company recently. Now, again, that's just what I've heard through people that are sort of connected to Turning Point. I could be wrong, but that's at least what I'm assuming. Trust the vets. Americans don't know desperation. Yeah, man. Have you been to go to some foreign countries, man, and some third world foreign countries, and you'll see a whole different side of life for sure. They watch Asmongold. I watch Asmongold, man. I've been watching Asmongold for like 10 years. He's pretty far out there now too. But I do like Asmon, actually. All right, so we did it. We made it 3 hours. This was a good one. Full character. It's Halloween time. All right, so we still got a ton of people in here somehow, even though it's literally during Halloween. Thank you all very much. I can hear trick-or-treaters at my door, right outside the door. And then we got to get to my son's varsity football game. It's Friday Night Lights. So thank y'all very much. What do we got coming up? So we got our political live streams, of course, coming up Tuesday. We're going to have a big thing on the economy, breakdown on that. We're going to get into the details on that. We got what we're talking about doing maybe a regular live like we did the other day with Jesse on Fire and JD Delay. Get Dan from Heavy Duty Country on there. You guys seem to like that. Maybe make that somewhat regularly. I'm not sure. Maybe not. But yeah, and then we'll have some videos coming out too. So happy Halloween to everyone out there. Yes, 40 billion to Argentina. Let's get another 100 billion to Israel as fast as possible. Winnie the Pooh. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. All right. Hopefully I didn't miss any. And yeah, that's going to do it for this one. I'll let y'all get out to your own Halloween festivities. It's Friday night. Be safe. Please do not get a DUI, right? I know I've been drinking, but that's because I got my wife that can drive me. So don't do anything stupid. Don't get in any fights. Don't go to jail. Don't get a DUI. And enjoy your Halloween. Take your kids trick-or-treating. That's going to do it for this one. And I will catch y'all in the next video.